And I think as we come to the green flag here, I think it's about to unfold to see what the day is going to bring us as we take the green flag here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Big launch by Sam Mayer on the bottom right off the bat. Going to clear him into one easy.
Yeah, Allmendinger tried to stick it 3 wide. Didn't quite make it work, but you know, we saw that. I felt like the bottom launched better in the truck race last night even, and I feel like you see that most of the day. Something about this front stretch, the bottom lane, especially on worn tires, I feel like it launches as we have a great battle for second between Ryan Preece and Justin Allgaier.
Something I noticed right off the bat as Ryan Preece was able to make the bottom work, but all these cars are going right into that resin that they put a little bit down this week. Not a lot, but a little bit. And it's made the track really wide in the truck race we saw last night on FS1. And we already see the track being pretty wide as these cars are almost to the wall already, which is just going to put on a great race for us today.
And this was always one of my favorite races to run in the Xfinity series for that exact reason, Joey, because even before they started putting the resin and the PJ1 on the racetracks, you could move from the bottom to the top, and as we see a pass for the lead here.
Which lane do you push if you're the 7? He's going to the outside with his teammate. Noah Gragson right behind him. Just looking for air at that point. Anywhere you can go to get air on the nose.
You see the one all the way up against the wall. I don't really think he wanted to be there. We got a second 3 wide race for second place, but it feels like, I feel like the bottom is the place to be right now. Maybe that resin isn't very clean right now. You see people in the middle lane kind of slip into the 3rd lane. You know, we talk about heat kind of activating it, but it can get dirty, and it might take it a little bit to clean off.
Well, I saw the one get a little sideways at the end of turn 4 there, showing that thing's probably a little free right now.
And that's not what you want. You do not want to have a free race car to start this race. Usually that means it's going to get freer, because this is a tough racetrack to not have the back of the car in the racetrack.
Yeah, and to your point there, Blaney, you see the 9 to Noah Gragson on the bottom of the racetrack going back by Ryan Preece. He just took the lead on the bottom. He moved up, lost the lead to someone running the bottom.
Yeah. And you know, we talk about the paint here a lot. You know, we used to talk about it at Atlanta a lot, of having your left sides in the paint. This is kind of the same thing. It might not mean as much as you see the 7 get really loose, but might not mean as much as Atlanta used to be. But I still feel like there's a lot of grip, and if you can hook that paint with both of your left side tires, not just the left front, it really can kind of give you a lot more grip, especially late in run.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. You see, you know, look at the 7 run the resin now and getting a run on Josh Berry with a sweet crossover down the front stretch. I think you might have, this is 6 laps in, maybe the first 4 or 5 laps you can get away with being on the bottom. That's probably where you want to be. Look at him run his teammate up the track, trying to clear him. I think as you get to lap 6 or 7, the resin is now the preferred lane. Whether it's cleaned up or tires have worn out a little bit, whatever it is, I'm not sure. But you can see that the car is starting to move up.
Yeah, speaking of moving up, you know, Brandon Jones, Ty Gibbs are big movers here, having to start at the back, and they're kind of staying right with each other. It's fun watching these cars, you know, really fast cars. We talked about it before the race, you know, pick their way through traffic. They're kind of been doing it right on the bottom, or really wherever they can get clean air, but they've been moving pretty quickly up through the field. I'll be curious to see where they can get to.
Oh, and you feel like Superman when you have a car that fast starting in the back. You start ripping through all these cars fairly easily. And then you get to the top 10, and it slows down. You get one here, get another here. Might need a caution, might need a good pit stop. Well, it looks like we have some issues here to 68.
Right front tire.
Brandon Brown looks like he stayed off the wall. You don't see a right front down very often, and not the right side ripped off of it. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, and I think as we run this race, it will be interesting to see if those Gibbs cars can continue passing the faster cars on the bottom, because I always feel like they make the most mechanical grip, or have the most grip in general when it comes to these types of racetracks. As we go to Charlotte, and we used to go to Atlanta and Darlington, seems like those cars just make a lot of mechanical grip.
And be curious to see also, you know, where their car goes as they move up into cleaner air. You know, we always talk about, if I got to go to the back, I got to start at the back, or have a penalty. You need to free me up so I can get through all this traffic. I need my car to turn better, because dirty air is always tighter. Be curious to see if they get to that cleaner air. Okay, am I too free now? Do we got to tighten me back up? That's always those things you have to think about it, as Noah Gragson leads us come to lap 10.
And Noah's been strong all year. Started 5th today, went to 1st, and is leading here at Charlotte Motor Speedway again.
We talked to Ryan Preece early, right before the race, and he said the track was going to widen out. It's going to be pretty slick. That's exactly what we have seen. Ryan jumped out and led a couple of laps there early in the going. That car not quite handling the way that he wants it to here in the early going. We've also kept an eye on Ty Gibbs. He had to drop all the way to the back of the field after the incident in practice yesterday. They took that car off premises, worked on it, fixed it up overnight, got it running pretty well. He's already worked his way back up into the top 15 here today. Of course, Ty, the winner of this race last year, looking to go back-to-back in that number 54.
It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway, presented by Arby's. And we got some good racing going on here, guys. We got the junior motorsports cars. We're racing the heck out of each other. 78 while you guys were on your commercial break. We had the 19. Oh, he almost saved it. Hope it misses him here.
Got away with that one.
Straighten up here.
Oof.
Big save there.
He was running 12th. At the time, starting from the back. So
yeah.
he was making some good progress. He's going to have to do it all over again.
Let's see what happened here. Just lost it.
It's kind of loose.
Yeah, as you guys know, there's a little bit of a bump right there getting into turn 1 that just kind of unloads the car right there, right as you want to turn down the racetrack. And, you know, I think Brandon just probably got a little bit free over the bump and turned it a little bit harder behind those two cars that he was following and just lost it.
And he was in a weird spot of dirty air, too, of like kind of staggered and probably like in the worst aero situation you could be in, along with that bump, like Kevin said. I just stepped around him. He did a great job saving it, and an even better job by everybody to miss him when he came back on the racetrack.
Yeah, I bet that thing turned back up the hill. He said, oh, no.
Austin, you have something to add?
Yeah, Brandon Jones was just obviously struggling with being a little bit loose there. They're definitely going to come down and put 4 tires on it and probably make an additional adjustment to tighten up. But early in the race for the Menards Super here, but I'm sure he wants to be up at the front of the field like he was yesterday.
And I see a lot of loose cars.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Where you hope the tire stays on and rip a fender off.
No.
Yeah, and Brandon will have to pit now while the...
And this changes strategy up for the 19 car. You know, I think at this point, you know, you're not going to see many of the leaders pit. It seems like you have one extra set. After you go through the stages and pit in the middle of the 3rd stage where you have to for fuel, you're going to run out of tires. So he's using his extra set right now.
Yeah, and you definitely want those tires for the end, because if you don't have them, you will be in big trouble.
Not a lot of activity here down on pit road. Under the first caution of the day here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, of course, we did talk to Brandon Jones, not on camera, but I had a chance to chat with him a little bit before the race started. He said he's really looking forward to this race today. Was going to have to work his way through the back, but I thought he had a good race car. Unfortunately, jumped out from underneath him. Again, we talked about these track conditions. Very hot, very slick, and of course, when you're back there in traffic, the air doesn't always act like your best friend back there all the way towards the tail end of the field. But Brandon Jones has brought that car down to the attention of his crew. They'll change up right side tires, get him back out. So we were at the first caution flag of the day here in the Alsco 300.
Car, North Carolina Mega Millions, the dark blue, King of North Carolina Powerball, the red car, they're off and going up on Speedway TV. The 5 cars going for the win here on the high banks. Which of the North Carolina Education Lottery cars will do it? She wants this light blue car to take the win. Can he do it? Coming around the corner, 3 wide. Will they be 5 wide or 4 wide right now? MC Powerball light blue car goes to the back. Can he come around to the checkers? Not gonna do it. Oh. So close, Rick. So close. Big thanks to the friends. Maybe next time. That's a good way to look at it. Hey, big thanks to our friends at the North Carolina Lottery and Rachel. Woohoo! Lee is 35th. Brandon Jones now scored in the 36th position. Brandon Brown scored.
Tomorrow on Fox, it's the most patriotic day in racing as Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and the best drivers in the world battle at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600. Coverage begins at 5 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
And Kevin Harvick. Battle this weekend.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. So what do you think? What do you think's going to happen here, Blaney? You had a pretty bold prediction here in the break.
Under break, I think the 19 Brandon Jones is going to get back. I think he's going to win the stage.
Think he's going to win the stage?
I know he's down a set of tires, but we saw about a second fall off in the short laps we ran, and I think he's going to drive back up to the field and win the stage. Austin, what do you got for us down there?
I do think it's a bold prediction, but got his right front tire here. Obviously locked it down. No real damage to the right front. They came back in again. Jabba got him to pull out the side skirt. Probably tucked under from being on the banking, but otherwise, yeah, down a set of tires. Pretty big disadvantage heading to the end of the race, so they definitely want to capitalize.
Definitely, you know, as much as tires are meaning, I think, at this racetrack in the heat of the day right now, the price is going to be paid more so at the end of the race if a caution comes out. If it goes green the third stage, he's going to be okay. But if one of those late race cautions come out, that's where he's going to have to pay the penalty. And he's actually been in this position a couple times this year where he's had an early spin, able to get track position back, but not having those tires at the end of the race can cost you.
He's going to feel like a hero, though.
Oh, yeah. He's going to pass cars like they're going out of style.
The rest of the guys are not going to like this. Like,
no.
Used tires here at Charlotte Motor Speedway is really not that much fun. So we ran, 14 or 15 laps under green. We're on lap, coming to lap 19 here. It's definitely a handful after you have some used tires.
That bottom lane so strong on the restart. Look at all 3 cars on the bottom, clearing the 5 of Ryan Preece.
Yeah, and we saw Justin Allgaier try to push Ryan Preece there. And this is a tough place to push, especially on used tires if you don't time it right. And the guy in front of you starts to spin him, and then you get in the back of his car, and the next thing you know, he's twice as sideways, and nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah, you think you're helping, but you're just hurting, and it's a tough one to get hooked up. And
we got yellow. Timmy Hill in the 13.
Had such a good qualifying effort.
You guys. Left rear tire down. A little damage to the back. Coming to you right now.
Yeah, and Timmy Hill, we didn't talk about this, but Timmy Hill qualified 9th, which is a great qualifying effort for that team. Unfortunately, getting a little spin here, but no damage. Same situation as Brandon Jones, though. He's going to be down a set of tires.
And I heard him talk about the left rear tire there on the radio.
Here's a similar situation, just
see the back of the car bouncing right there.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
And it is rough down there. You know, I think you have that initial bump, and if you get kind of in between those seams and even up higher where he was up there, it's got some choppiness to it, and you can really see it in the rear suspension right there. Even as he's still spinning, you can see the rear of the car going up and down right there as it goes through those bumps. But what a great effort for Timmy Hill and his team to qualify well, and just tough conditions on the restart there. And like we talked earlier, I mean, when your car's qualifying good and you get into the race, and sometimes, more times than not, they wind up loose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. You know, you bring up a good point there, Kevin, though, about this racetrack and the surface. It's pretty bumpy, and the bumps here aren't like swells or anything. They're just real choppy, big bumps. I almost kind of call it like a cobblestone road, right? Like, it just seems like each bump comes to a different wheel, and it's really hard to get all that put together as a setup.
And the other thing is, we haven't run that high on the racetrack in a really long time, so that'll be interesting to see how it develops through the day.
Down in the pit stall of Myatt Snyder, the Jordan Anderson Racing team up there, keeping a close eye on that number 31 car. Myatt all the way back in the 27th position. That car not running quite the way he wanted it here today. He said, you know, last week I thought we were going to get out of there with the top 10, and of course kind of went away on him late in the race. But he said, you know, I think we're going to be able to work our way up towards the front. Myatt's got a good car, but he's really looking forward to after the race. He's going to hop on a plane with sponsor John Bomarito. Head up to the Indy 500 tomorrow and check that out. First time ever up at the big Indy 500. I said, aren't you going to miss what's going on down here at Charlotte? And he said, I wish, man, we can't be in two places at once. But he wants to go check out the spectacle up at IMS while keeping an eye on everything going on here at Charlotte tomorrow afternoon remotely.
Speedway, the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We had 11 cautions in mind. That race was only 250 miles. 300 miles, and then 2 cautions here as we have completed 22 laps. First involving Brandon Jones having the tire go down. Second one, Timmy Hill spinning over in turn 1. We'll get 2 at the stage break, so that's a guarantee of 4. Can I take back my 7 or less? You said 7 or less. Less than or equal to 7 is what you said at the race. I can't take that back. You can take it back all you want. I think we're probably headed for double digits. By the way, on that restart, Sheldon Creed made a couple of amazing moves. Squeezed in on the top of the racetrack and passed 6 cars on that restart. Now let's go down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Brett McMillan.
Well, during these 2 caution periods, drivers spent a lot of time talking with the teams about how their cars are handling. Our leader right now, Joe Greg, says he needs some more lateral grip. Instead of skating through the turn sideways, he says, so we'll take care of that. Right now, the guys are talking more about waiting for the skate ring to come in and because Jeff Burton says the car is put in tight in the center. Ryan King said that he feels like the car did in Las Vegas for a frame of reference for his crew chief, so he's going to get some air on the right side when he comes in and hits. And the number 5 in Arthur Ryan Reeves is driving. He says it's help on entry, but they said with the traction compound they have on the track.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend. And what a great weekend for our sport. You know, I don't think there's any sport that celebrates our military and the holidays and charity giving like NASCAR racing. I always tell people, I'm like, there's nobody who supports our military and gives more than NASCAR.
Absolutely, and it's something that, you know, Memorial Day weekend is so special for a lot of reasons, and honoring the families of our fallen soldiers, but it's something that we don't do enough, right? We take it for granted so often. We live our own little world with our own little issues because someone's fighting our big issues for us, and I think we take that for granted way too often. This weekend really helps with the, you know, putting that at the forefront of everyone's mind.
And I would tell you that The pre-race show here for the Coca-Cola 600 is really one of the coolest things that you get to see all year, and with all the military members and the cannons and the 21-gun salute and everything that happens in the pre-race is really neat to see every year for me, and I know the fans enjoy it too. Tyler, what do you have down there?
Yeah, Riley Herbst obviously had to go to that backup car after practice yesterday. He's made his way up to the 17th starting position, and obviously they spotlighted how late into the night they had to work on their race car. But when I talked to him earlier today, they said they brought the same setup they had in practice, so obviously they're pretty confident in their car. Right now he's fighting a little tight center off, but obviously it doesn't hurt him too bad as he's marching his way forward.
Thank you, Tyler. Only thing I'm happy that Tyler's down there, but I'm really less excited in the fact that we don't get to see Tyler on the racetrack, seeing how high we can actually go today.
I know you hear Tyler on the TV here, and he's very calm, collected. But when you see him on the racetrack, that guy's like sideways all the time, up against the wall, ripping it, and then he's all calm.
What would you do different here, Tyler? Obviously, there's some grip up there. It looks to me like we need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. Anything we can analyze to do better up there?
Well, they're taking their time. They're only, they got 20 laps to go in stage 1. They're working their way up there.
So that's the problem, because you would have already just been up there.
Well, I did that at Texas, and it didn't work. So, you got to have a little bit of patience, I think.
You won Texas.
He did win.
I didn't win the first lap, that's for sure.
We know how much that one pays.
0.
Yeah, Tyler was the winner in this 48 car last week. Austin Dillon driving it this week.
So the choose rule is always a big deal. We talk about that weekly. Josh Berry was running second and chose the outside lane on the front row. We just noted about that outside lane, getting hard to get forward drive. Good launch here. We'll see what he's able to do this time. Getting a push. You see that whole top lane just all over each other trying to get going. And Sam Mayer, I think, maybe he's trying to clear Josh Berry, not so much. He said, no, I'm still out here.
We talk about Josh Berry taking the top and maybe not the preferred lane, but gosh, it is so hard to give up the front row. I don't care if you're running second. It's hard to not pick the front row in that situation. Even maybe if it's not the preferred lane, you need to have your shot of trying to get the lead.
Because if you stay close, if you could just stay right to that rear bumper, and get that side draft and pulling back to you, you're probably going to have the advantage as you get through turns 1 and 2.
And this is such a hard restart, guys. You got 27 laps on your tires. This is not common, for us, especially as Cup guys. We don't ever refire with 27 laps on your tires unless there's some really interesting things going on. But I think here, these guys are a little bit more used to saving tires throughout the first 2 stages, so they have that extra set just in case there's a late caution late in the race.
And this is a mess back here. I've been watching this through the window, and Brandon Jones is trying to make his way back up there with those fresh tires that he has.
He's trying to make me good on my word of winning the stage.
He's running out of time, but something's going on here at Jeb Burton.
Might be trying to say he's got a flat. Trying to get down or got a problem.
And sometimes on used tires, you just feel things, and especially here at Charlotte, when you go across the bumps and cross the seam, and you just don't really know. So he's just trying to give everybody a heads up that there's probably a problem with this car, or it's not going like he wants to get out from behind him and go under me.
Yeah, he's coming to pit road now, so he did have an issue. Was running 14th. It's a shame for Jeb. So that groove is moving up. Now I see more guys moving up and up. And speaking of guy who's up the racetrack, let's see what AJ Allmendinger's got to say.
11 was just trying to block the car out back, wasn't trying to put you in a bad spot right there, and then it bottlenecked in front of us. So he just wanted to make sure you knew. Copy. I didn't think he was trying to get to my bumper. I lifted early, did not get aero loose behind the cars in front of me, so all good there.
Well, I think AJ's a little fired up, but look at, he's been racing the one of Sam Mayer. He cleared him down here in 3 and 4. You guys saw it. And then Sam crossed him back over, and he all but laid the bumper to him down there in 1 and 2. And we've noted that Sam Mayer in the 1 is loose. He's been loose since the beginning of the race. He's still hanging on. And when someone puts their back bumper that close to you, loose is going to be the understatement.
Yeah, it's going to be looser.
Yes.
Austin, what do you have on the 54?
Yeah, someone who's been really quiet all day is Ty Gibbs, who's made up 20-plus positions, and he's already inside the top 10, working on stage points. Business as usual for him. He won the race here last year. Obviously had to go back to the shop in Huntersville, get them a new car, and it's obviously not much slower than it usually is.
And you see his teammate Trevor Bain right behind him. The two of them are just tag teaming right through the field here. You see Gibbs up to 8th and Trevor right behind Moffitt there. And there's a caution to 68, Brandon Brown again.
It's been a rough start of the race for that team. So he's down flat left rear, yeah.
Yeah, and what a nightmare for the crew chiefs, right?
Yeah.
See the bottom of the screen, you're going to see him come in as he's already sideways down there on the apron, and you should wonder if that left rear blew out before he got in the corner or because of the spin. Hard telling, not knowing.
So we've got, let's see, 13 laps left in the stage. So we're going to come back to probably, what, 9 or 10 laps?
Yeah.
Who wants to play crew chief today?
You going to flip the stage here?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I see that there's definitely a possibility of doing it, but as much fall off as we've seen so far, 13 laps is still a fair amount. I mean, you're going to go back green probably with 10 to go or so.
I don't think you pit.
I think you got to stay.
I don't think you can, yeah.
Now, maybe if you're, I don't know, Landon Castle, Austin Hill, Riley Herbst, maybe those guys right there.
Like
Austin
11th back, maybe?
You might think about it, but you got to have a good cushion behind you, right? If you're the only one to pit here and no one else comes with you, then they're all going to be lining up with 10-lap newer tires right behind you.
What about Brandon Jones? You know, you think at this particular time, you think it's you're hoping for more cautions. Maybe as you get 2 or 3 more laps, if you get another caution, you might be able to save a set of tires and just take your punishment early.
Yeah,
it's just a tough spot.
He's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
He's definitely put himself in a tough situation here. I don't know. I think he probably stays at this point.
That's why we drive.
Yeah. Do you ever get the, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. You have the computer. I'm just driving.
Nobody coming.
That caution did work out well for Jeb Burton. He had his problems and will get the free pass. Makes life a lot easier when we have all these cautions. There's not a whole lot of cars a lap down, and you're able to overcome that issue really quick.
And we talked about refiring on old tires. 34 lappers, even tougher to get that forward drive in the restart zone. What's it going to be like in 1 and 2? You know, I think once you get through the gears on the front straightaway, you probably want the top lane. But how many spots do you lose from being in the top lane, you know, before that? That's where this choose gets pretty tough here. Tyler, what do you got on the 27?
Yeah, Jeb Burton came and got right side tires on that last caution, but it appears he's got a punctured right front. So day's not off to a good start for the 27. We'll see what happens here.
Well, he got a caution there, but
yeah, and putting 2 tires on when you don't really know what's wrong is sometimes kind of a gamble, but it looks like the gamble kept him, you know, only 1 lap down and were able to keep himself in the game.
Right, he can get the lucky dog here in you know, 11 laps or so. You know, if he can keep himself in the lucky dog spot, and then he'll be all right. Between him and Brandon Brown, they're going to be fighting for the lucky dog and putting themselves in contention again.
So as we come to the choose, you know, I think the 8 learned something on the last restart. He actually did a pretty good job and maintained second. I feel like he'll take the front row again. And once you kind of get like 1 rep, you know, in that non-preferred lane, you can kind of change some stuff up of what you might be able to do a little bit better and try to get the lead. But at the same time, the leader knows that, and you're lined up against the same guy, and so the leader's going to do something different. So Gregson's going to go in a different spot in the restart zone. So it's always a big guessing game, but everyone's constantly learning, especially as your tires gets older and it's really tough. Let's do it on some 5 radio.
Dave, sorry, that first time when I stopped, the power steering kind of like froze up. It felt like still that way, or is it just when you're in here? I'm in there when I'm coming to a stop. Maybe give it some gas when I do that. Yes, it's a low drag one, so you got to keep a little RPM for it to work.
Well, that's part of, you know, maybe not driving that car every week, right? Ryan Preece doesn't run in the Xfinity Series, doesn't drive the 5 every week. You know, and I think, you know, there might be some of the tendencies of the car, but I know you want the power steering to work, because when that doesn't work, you're in trouble. But I do want to watch Ryan Preece on this restart. He chose the 3rd row on the bottom. He could have taken the 2nd row on the outside, meaning he gave up a row to take the bottom. So he's laying up a couple spots in hopes of having a better restart and getting himself back into the 4th position. That's where he chose from.
Yeah, and that's really all going to be based on what Josh Berry does on the outside, right? If he can stay closer this time, he might be able to make something better of it than last time.
What a start by Josh Berry, getting it going.
Yeah, definitely learned something.
Whoa, didn't see this one coming.
And I think, you know, now he's in the preferred lane, I feel like. He's already going to clear the 9. That was a great job. Yep. The 9's going to be in a really bad spot here.
Oh, that was tight. I don't think AJ liked that. Look at him still pushing him.
I did not think that was going to end as calmly as what it did. I thought they were going to get fenced.
Yeah, and that's just a moment where Noah's like, if I don't get up right here if I'm in the middle by the time I get to the next corner, I'm going to be in really big trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely have lost 3 or 4 spots by the time he got down to turn 3.
These restarts when, you know, you got 30 laps on your stuff in the Xfinity Series is always really interesting to me, because, you know, you had the 9 car who was kind of dominating the race, I feel like. And now, you know, you get a couple refires and some heat cycles on your stuff, and boom, now you're 3rd. You know, it's always kind of interesting to see how everyone's car refires on older stuff. This to me tells me whose car is really good, is if you can refire and you're still fast on these older stuff, on these older tires.
Yeah, and it's going to give us a good read on how good is Noah Gregson's car actually, you know, when he's in traffic here, and we've seen him lead laps. But, you know, as we see Josh Berry take off in the lead now, he is driving off.
So Preece just kind of work at the bottom here. He lost quite a few spots on that restart. He's back to 7th. Trying to work the bottom, and this is one of those places, you know, if you try to go down to the bottom to make some moves, if you don't get cleared back up, you're probably going to lose a spot. So you got to be smart about when you make the decision to try to pass them. And here you see Brandon Jones. He's got the tires. Don't forget, he's got some newer tires in the cars around him. Trying to get some stage points throughout this. He's sitting 11th right now.
Tyler, what do you have on a 9?
Yeah, listening in on Noah Gregson's radio here. Interesting development. Speed looks good, but Noah thinks he might be going down a cylinder here. All the gauges look good in his car, but he's just commenting that he doesn't think he has the power that he did to start this race.
Well, he's got a long way to go to figure it out, and usually there's not a whole bunch you can do about that once the race is started, and you just ride it out. But it seems like he's still got some kind of power. He's still plugging away here in 3rd place and not losing much ground.
I'll tell you, someone who's been ripping the top is this 0-2 of Brent Moffitt. Oh, as he kind of got squeezed. But he's been running the very, very top and coming off really high off of 2. And, I mean, just incredible speed to the cars around him. He's kind of put in a bad spot here, but he's been able to get these big runs, and that just shows me the track is continuing to widen out.
I am so impressed with Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. The racing we've had, this is the old days, man. We used to run right up against the wall with these Xfinity cars, the Cup cars. I can't wait to get out there later and see what this is going to be like, because we haven't had a track this wide at Charlotte in years. This is great.
And when you have a track that wide, especially on the restarts, oh, we got a mess.
Oh, no. So we got Kyle Weatherman, Jeffrey Earnhardt in the mix. Ryan Vargas doesn't look like he has too much damage.
Oh, man.
See, the 26 is stuck here on the front straightaway.
That might end the stage.
Forever lawn. He's forever stuck in the lawn here, unfortunately.
Joey's got some one-liners.
I mean, it just kind of was there as teed up. I felt like I had to hit that one. Let's see what happened here off of turn 4. Boy, it looks like
Yeah, it looks like the 44 car was kind of down a half a lane compared to the 34 car that was in front of him, and the 26 was judging his space off of the 34 car and not the car that was actually beside him.
Yeah, I think the 44 is just trying to get a little bit of air.
Yeah,
and that's just one of those weird things to where you can't really blame anybody on that deal. It's just tight racing and kind of cars coming together when they're sliding off a turn 4 like that.
And here your car just wants to shoot to the outside wall anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
off a turn 4.
I think that's just racing. Unfortunately, it's just a race and accident. And one thing I did notice, though, that from the shot before, a lot of cars drove through the grass. Here we see one. Watch a little bit of hang time here. Whoop.
Yeah, but the noses are all still attached.
Something to do with that turf.
That turf down there looks pretty nice.
That should be everywhere, Kevin. What do you think?
I think we should make that a rule.
Yeah. Saved a lot of cars in the race still because of it.
Yep. Exactly.
There's really not much that hurts worse than that unexpected grass ripping your nose off the car.
I mean, I've seen a car flip because of it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Splitters dig in.
Yeah. After you make a good save or something and you bail to the grass and not just have your day ruined. So.
See Landon Castle riding slow. We'll have to get our pit reporters down there to figure out what he's up to. But he was definitely off the pace. We'll be back.
Collect some stage points with very
under caution for a big pile up here on the front straightaway, circulating as we get near the end of stage 1. We don't expect to see anybody come down pit road and give up those valuable stage points until the end of that stage. So we did have a chance to check in with defending series champion Daniel Hemrick and his team, crew chief Alex Yant, saying Daniel hasn't said anything about the handling of that car one way or the other. Tight, loose, he's very happy with it. He'd have been talking if he wasn't. So Daniel Hemrick all the way up to 5th. He picked up a couple of positions on that last restart. We'll see if he can pick up a couple of more once he go back green flag racing.
As we go across the green checkered, Josh Berry's going to win stage 1. It's NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Eric Almirola, you nailed that prediction. You said Junior Motorsports would win the first stage, and there they go. Positions 1 2, 3, and 6.
Well, like you said, we talked about it in the pre-race, and we see it again. They've won 8 of the last 8 stages. Now we see number 9. They are so fast. We talked about that goose egg in the win column for them. I still think they're going to erase that today and get the win.
For me, Ty Gibbs, Trevor Bayne coming from the back. Both made their way into the top 10. I think Trevor lost a spot there towards the end. The track is really wide. Ty Gibbs is putting on a show coming up to the front. We'll have to see with him starting towards the front of the stage 2, see what he can do with those JRM cars.
Well, a lot of action so far in stage 1. The race has only just begun. Back to you in the booth, Kevin.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, and JRM has only led 26 laps up until today at this particular racetrack. Can you believe that?
No. But they are going to blow that record away by a long shot. 9 straight stage wins in a row. And they've been winning races, too. It's not just stages. Here they come down pit road. Austin Cindric, bring us down pit road.
Yeah, we got Daniel Hemrick coming into the first pit stall here, and he's struggled with a tight race car. These tire cycles have not helped him out, so they're going to help him out here. And then we got his teammate A.J. Allmendinger, who started the race seeing smoke in his race car. I think that's just hair gel burning off, but as the race went on, the tire cycles were helping a free race car. They're going to do some right rear air, and Tyler's next.
Yeah, so Josh Berry feels like as these tires have gotten cycles on them, the rear of the car is coming out of the racetrack. He's going to get drink bottle and 4 fresh tires to be on his way. Justin Allgaier feels like his car is coming to him. He thinks the resin is wearing off this racetrack, and as it's doing that, the car's going right where he wants it, and yeah, he's right where he wants to be.
You see the 9 car putting the hood up. We heard him saying maybe he was losing power or doing something. Maybe a spark plug came undone. What? We got some radio.
It sounds like it's a down cylinder, but I don't know if it's a plug or what it is, but I don't see no smoke. But you didn't see anything different when you switched everything, right? No, it was the exact same. I reset my gauges too, see if that would work. It's still running the same.
Yeah, and that's never fun.
Yeah.
Especially at a place that's just a longer race than what you normally have.
They have not fixed the 10. They tried.
Well, I think as you look at everything that's happening, we are off to a really slow start here. We've had plenty of cautions.
Stage 1 coming to an end, and of course the Junior Motorsports cars looking for their first ever victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's looking pretty good for them. They've been pretty dominant. Josh Berry picking up the win in Stage 1, and of course most of his teammates right there in his rear view mirror. We did see Landon Castle slowing towards the end of that first stage, and his car unfortunately coming to a stop out on the racetrack. Maybe something as simple as out of fuel. Could be something more serious under the hood. We'll find out here if we have the chance to go down and talk to his crew here under this caution flag. But a very slow start here in the Alsco 300. Hopefully we'll get some green flag laps going here in Stage 2.
We are back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Arby's 250, and we have finally gotten done with the first stage. Justin Allgaier, you see him coming by your screen right now, just got the lead off of pit road. Josh Berry chose already to the outside as they come back around to take the green here in just a few moments.
Now we see Landon Castle didn't get the problem fixed by changing the tires, so they've taken that car to the garage. And we got one spun around on the backstretch.
I saw him going backwards out of the window, and
the roll was in
October.
October.
Was going on? Yeah, got confused.
I don't know what happened there.
Looked like Michael Waltrip at the wrong track there.
A good one. All right, here we go. Back green.
Got some new players up front. Brandon Jones going to restart 4th after his little trouble early. See what he can do.
Big pushes on the bottom there as Junior Motorsports cars in the top 3. The one of Sam Mayer giving 7 a good push. He's going to try to clear up in 2nd. I don't know if he's going to quite make that.
And Josh Berry, he's confident in that 2nd, 3rd, top groove, whichever one he picks. He's made a lot of speed off the corner there on the restart and going to take 2nd back from Sam Mayer.
This is one of the first time we've had a restart, though, with new tires. They've been restarting on old tires over and over again. Now they've got 4 Mr. Feelgoods hooked to this thing, and they can throttle up hard. And you see the bottom is still, pretty strong. You see the 7 down there, but look at the run Josh Berry just made against the wall in 1 and 2. Huge run down into 3. I don't think you're defending much of that.
Move up to limit. He's out there top. Outside top in the 1.
Oh, he almost cleared him. So close.
Yeah, turn 3 is just tough when you get those big runs and then you have to go back to the bottom because there's a whole bunch of washboard bumps all the way to the bottom. So you have to be,
I tell you, the 8 and the 7 have been racing the heck out of each other today.
They have. And now Sam Mayer's there. Do it. Go through
I thought it was.
And as a car owner, that's the worst. It's really good that they're all running up there, but when they're racing that hard, you're just waiting for them to wipe each other out.
Well, it's pretty interesting the way they're racing each other. No one's wrapping the bottom. When the car's on the bottom, he's not finishing the turn down there. They're just releasing the wheel and trying to put the dirty air on the other car. The 8 get super loose. That's where we saw Brandon Jones spin out earlier. That's that bump Kevin was talking about. You get that dirty air. He barely saved that car right there. Yeah.
We're right there with you. Yeah, when you enter at the wall into 1, I mean, it is like 4 or 5 washboard bumps right away, and it feels like the rear end of your car is going to fall out. So, like Kevin said earlier, I mean, we haven't been running that high at this racetrack for a while, and maybe they've gotten worse, and we're definitely seeing that today.
Yeah, and I think traffic has to be a little bit of that, right? He went in to try to pull it down behind 2 cars, and it just wasn't as stable as it was, when he was by himself. Tyler?
Yeah, after hitting those bumps, you're not running high enough yet. You got to move up a little bit higher into turn 1. That'll fix your problem.
That's what we need.
Oh.
Yeah, see? That's what we need.
Where have you been all my life?
I learned something for tomorrow. I just go to the right of it.
Yeah, so what you're saying, Tyler, is you need to have the left sides above the top seam to miss that bump?
On the wall. That'll fix all your problems. Just right on the wall.
Right on the wall. Spring you got in that thing, too.
If I try this later and I right-side my car, I'm blaming you.
Okay, that's fine. I'll probably right-side it, too.
Tyler, if you are free, like I said in the production meeting, if you have some extra time, you can come make some laps in my car and make sure it's okay.
Well, I'll come dial a top in your car, and then I'll go out and make some good laps in mine, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
We did before the end of the commercial, we heard Justin Allgaier say on his radio to his crew chief that he feels like the resin might be wearing out a little bit. So, I mean, all these cars running up in the heat of the day, this stuff does wear out some, which I don't think is going to be a bad thing because the top is a little bit more dominant than the bottom. It'll equal the track out a little bit.
And the resin is a little bit different than the PJ1 because it's not dark. Yeah. Like, it's hard to see. When it starts wearing out, like, you have to go with feel and kind of what the other cars are doing because you can't really see where it's at. It's almost a clear liquid.
Yeah.
Right.
Austin, do you have a report on anybody else's hair down there?
No report on hair, but you guys were making fun of my food intake during the break, so I just wanted to show what a well-prepared lunch looks like. We got apples, bananas, got a peanut butter and banana sandwich, some applesauce.
I remember when I was in
Unfortunately, I didn't get any
fifth grade,
Arby's
too.
down here. Thanks for that. Jamie's got some more bananas and cookies. You guys got food catered to you. Jamie and I got life sorted down
Austin,
here.
who packed that for you?
His mom called and she said to make sure he had sunscreen.
And by the way, I packed it myself this morning. Thank you very much.
Okay, good job.
So Austin just moved out of his parents' home and about, 6 months ago or so, and he talks a lot about his cooking skills.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Joey.
I thought it was Dino Nuggets, but apparently it's a little bit one step ahead of that.
Balanced diet.
All right, well, tell us what your favorite thing to cook is.
I'm kind of a fajitas guy. Fajitas are good. Pasta's pretty easy. I started to dabble making my own sauce. Made a few Caesar salad dressing making attempts. I love it. Jamie's going to try and eat my peanut butter banana sandwich, though.
Well, I guess that is the first step to moving out, being able to eat. So you're
Eating's
doing good.
important. My mom's a good cook, so I learned from the best.
Okay,
I'm
good
going
job.
To-go order, man. Can't go wrong with a to-go order. All right, back to the
Anyways,
race.
what else we got going on?
Guys?
I did see the crust was cut off his sandwich too, so that was cute.
You think it was a PB&J, don't you?
I think it was.
Yeah. Well, we do have a race. I don't even know where to go from the PB&J and the lunchbox.
Probably just a commercial.
But the Junior Motorsports cars still are winning.
Yes.
So we're going to go to a double box so we can still watch the race and pay the bills.
Showing off his lunch, but we do have a quick update on Sam Bear. Of course, he did start from the pole here this afternoon, currently sitting in that third position. Trying to track down his two Junior Motorsports teammates. Justin Allgaier currently on top of the leaderboard. Josh Berry in second. No word from the one car after that drop of the green flag. Driver seems to be pretty happy with the handling of it. Just trying to log some laps to get to that halfway point. He can bring it back down pit road, make some more adjustments, and hopefully park that thing down in victory lane and collect that first career Xfinity Series victory.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. These teams are doing some traveling. This is a heck of a stretch that they're on. Texas last week, back home to Charlotte.
And they're going way, way out west to Portland next Saturday on FS1.
And that's a cool track.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
It's a cool track. I raced there a long time ago before you were, well, you might have been born, Ryan, but It's a neat racetrack.
Yeah.
It's a really racy place. It's got a really tight chicane at the end of the front straightaway. Let's hear what AJ Allmendinger has to say.
Specific about how much adjustment we need to make. That's my fault. I didn't think I needed that big of an adjustment, so my bad, dude. Copy that. All good, man. Well, I'm just glad the car responded. This drive we're running in the top 5 instead of 10th. Me too. And you ain't gonna believe it, but we got 2 porta potties on pit road with 9,875 people. I could use one of those right now.
I could probably make the bet that all that communication AJ's might not be hearing. A lot of times there's channel 1 and channel 2, and a lot of times the spotter and crew chief may communicate a lot on channel 2 and maybe joke around and have a little bit of fun. But you know, they bring up a good point there. Kaulig has had a bit of a struggle here the last few weeks, and you know, you look at the way they're running now. AJ in 4th, Hemrick in 7th. You know, it seems like they've made a little bit of progress on their cars. As I say, Hemrick's getting pressured right now by Trevor Bayne. Has a car that can really enter on him and exit low.
Man, that was loose.
That was big loose.
But there's not a more entertaining radio channel than Kaulig's.
No.
I think it's Chris Rice. That's what makes it very entertaining.
It keeps everything fun. Keeps everyone in a good mood, I feel like.
Guys are racing so hard. We were talking about during the commercial break that the drivers in the Xfinity Series race each other so hard. It puts on a great race for everybody when they don't crash each other. It's an amazing race because they are running so hard. These cars are not easy to drive. Limited downforce. You hear them every week. They're off the gas a lot. They're sliding around. They're up against the fence right now. You know, searching for grip. And that's really fun to watch. I'm sure it's fun to be a part of.
So these guys are putting on a great show, the 7 and the 8. I mean, lap after lap after lap, they are 2 to 3, sometimes 4/10 faster than the field right now. So they are really, really fast, and they're probably the highest cars that I've seen. There's a couple guys that might stay on the wall a little bit longer, but they're putting out some really good lap times. See, Jeb Burton just made a good comeback after having that flat tire.
Yeah, and this race has a little bit of flow to it now. Kind of has that green flag feel to the race, and we didn't have that in the first one. We had the most cautions we've ever had in one stage at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And right here, this is where you try to side draft them back. That's the 48. Austin Dillon's driving that car. He's trying to pull them back down the straightaway to get position into turn 1, which Jeb was able to do, and having a good recovery. There's a 10 again. Back out on the racetrack. You saw him behind the wall. They were trying to fix it. They must have thought they fixed it. I don't think they did.
I think I jinxed us.
Yeah, that might bring out a caution. He's going pretty slow, and he's only about halfway down the backstretch.
I think there's a turn.
Oh, he's going to take the access road. There we go.
There we go. He's going to go visit the fans. Why not? He's got nothing else to do now.
What do you have on the 10 down there?
Yeah, it sounds like they've been working to fix the fuel pump cable on that 10 car, but unfortunately for Landon Castle, looks like they're still fighting an issue there.
They're going to have to go find them there in the back straightaway in the infield and push them back into the garage.
Yeah, we might see Landon sitting on top of one of those motorhomes over there pretty soon.
We might.
Pulled off in the Roval chicane on the backstretch.
So this will be interesting. You know, we talk about everyone's really moving up and running pretty. Oh, we got a caution. Turn 2. Jeb Burton.
Oh, we're just talking about his recovery. And he was down 1 set of tires. Now he's going to be down 2 sets of tires.
Did we hit anything?
Yeah, and that's going to leave us about 15 laps left in the
I don't know
stage.
exactly
So
what happened. I was thinking to follow the leader to see what kind of line he was running. When I looked back at us, we were around.
That's thanks. You know, made a good recovery. He was up to 15th or 16th there before he had his issue. I'd be curious to see what happened. Might have been one of those things where he just entered high. Yep. You see the thing start shaking and bouncing, and that might not look like much from his onboard, but it is huge inside the race car, and really, I mean, it's really easy to spin out when you hit him like that.
Yeah, and you get driving in there, and you just get more and more confident, and then all of a sudden you get in there too far, and that's what happens.
Yeah, it's not much room for error or anything like that. You just go right around. Austin, you got something on 18?
Yeah, Trevor Bain's moving up through the field still, and he's actually been setting some of the fastest lap times there at the end of that long run. So it sounds like his car's a little bit tight. He's got the grip in the back because he's talking about really being able to plant the throttle to get the thing to still rotate off the corner. So I think you give that car just a little more time and a little more track position. I think there'll be a threat.
You see both those Gibbs cars, all three of the Gibbs cars are 5th, 6th, 7th. You know, in 19, we talked about his struggles early in the day with spinning out in the same place. We just saw Chip Burton spin out. You know, you got Ty Gibbs coming from the rear and maybe slowing down a little bit, you know, as they pick off those cars, and Trevor Bain doing the same thing as they try to come through. So sounds like they may have long run cars. You know, hearing about Trevor's being, you know, excited about his car in the long haul. We haven't really seen the long run quite yet.
Yeah, I think as we see Jeb Burton take off on another set of tires, like you said, Joey, he's going to be in a pretty tight box on tires. But it's going to be interesting to see how this high groove continues, because you have to roll the speed into turn 1 there, and we've seen a lot of trouble down there today. So we'll see where it goes.
Caution once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Some teams electing to come on down pit road, but most staying out here as we wind down towards the conclusion of the second of today's 3 stages. Of course, those junior motorsports cars continuing to show their strength here throughout the course of the afternoon. The cars that, and I agree with the guys upstairs in the booth, we're going to have to keep our eyes on those Joe Gibbs Racing cars. They started all the way out back. They have methodically worked their way through the field, running 5th, 6th, and 7th now, going into the mid stages of the second stage, approaching the midway point of the race. Those cars poised to be right where they want to be to make a run for that checkered flag here in the Alsco 300. But still a long way to go here at Charlotte. Of course, sun has been uninterrupted. There wasn't much cloud cover here throughout the course of the day. Looking up in the sky now, we do start to see a little bit of cloud cover starting to roll in, so that could change things throughout the second half of the race here this afternoon. Lots of storylines yet to come as we keep an eye on what's going on here with the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Tonight, it's a USFL primetime showdown between the New Orleans Breakers and Jeff Fisher's Michigan Panthers. Kickoff is at 9 Eastern on FS1. Then tomorrow, the league-leading Birmingham Stallions take on the Pittsburgh Maulers at 2 Eastern on Fox. Oh, dang it. I was hoping that was Boyer.
I'd have to be strapped in to a harness or something if I was doing that. I mean, that would trip me out. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Here we go, 13 to go at the stage, refiring on some old tires. What I see here is a 7, taking the top. This is an interesting play.
I think at the top lane, especially on old stuff, if you can just be on his quarter panel in 1 and 2, you're going to, a little bit of contact.
Well, he's coming across the whole racetrack down to A.J. Allmendinger way down on the bottom. And Sam Mayer
said, thank you. I will take the top.
Merry Christmas. I'm going to run the top. Oh, he still couldn't get it, though. I thought he was going to clear him.
Yeah, and I think Allgaier taking the top might say something about how slick the bottom is, as we saw with Josh Berry, and they made slight contact there. You know, even though it's a little bit of a struggle getting going, it might just be so slick on the bottom that it's hard to make ground.
Josh Berry is having a really bad first 2 laps here for this restart. He got put in a bad spot, getting loose, and he's struggling.
Oh, save it.
Hold on to it.
He got it.
Good save. Keep rolling here. No caution. Still coming outside of you. Stay all the way bottom.
And it's such a similar look to what happened to him earlier in the race. That was in turn 1, though, over that bump. That time 3 and 4.
We've seen a lot of loose race cars today. Very loose race cars.
Hot and slick at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Now this bump.
Yeah, that was a bump of, I'm not happy that you pulled up in front of me. I'm not lifting.
And this is where everybody's fighting to get in that resin, which is pretty much the second lane on up. That's where the resin is. That's where there's a little bit more grip. When they all go up there, though, it leaves a lot of opportunity for the guy in the bottom, which is Ryan Preece, because he's got clean air. Look at, no one's in front of him. The 11's having to deal with the dirty air from the 18 there. The 5 gets to run the bottom with clean air, and now he's going to try to get up into position here behind Trevor Bayne in 6th spot.
And he actually made pretty good ground there. He passed 2 or 3 cars there on the bottom.
And so he's still choosing to do it. Now, I think this only lasts for a couple laps on the restarts before you don't have an option. You might have to be up in it. There's the 2. This is kind of what Tyler Reddick was talking about. See how high he entered turn 1?
Look at the run he gets to off of turn 2.
He went up, we think, above the bumps. It's only territory that Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson have ever seen or felt. Apparently, he must have talked to Creed at some point.
Oh, man.
These guys been racing each other so hard all race. The 7 and the 8 is what I'm talking about here. They've been racing each other since lap 1 of this race so hard, and you see some contact. That's 2 times there was contact through 1 and 2.
And let's check out the 19's great save in 3 and 4.
Oh, entering with someone right on your door.
Yeah, he was spinning out before he even got in the corner. He did a great job of straightening that thing back out.
Yeah, and you see the front of the car bounce right there. Andy's right beside the 16 car there with, like you guys say, no air on the spoiler or the side of that car, and just got really light. He did a good job saving himself another set of tires.
Yes. That's right. I'll tell you, Josh Berry has made a great rebound, getting back to 2nd after getting shuffled back to 5th or 6th there on that restart. He's been running the top really well, so his car is really fast. I think he and the 7 right now just a little bit better than everybody else. Tyler, what do you got on 21? We got an issue?
Yeah, it sounds like Austin Hill in the 21 Alsco uniform Chevrolet may have a tire going down. Something to keep an eye on here with 5 laps to go in the stage.
Limper home, baby. 5 to go in the stage. You just hope it doesn't blow out or whatever happens. Just get through it here. You see him off the pace for sure here in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and how many times have you guys been here late in a run where you don't really know the answer to that and your car's just so bad that you think the tires are going down? That's just Charlotte.
And these drivers are just getting higher and higher on the racetrack. A.J. Allmendinger way up top there. You see him right against the wall. I think some of that is they're looking for fresher resin, right? If it's being worn off in the 2nd lane, where do you go? Higher and keep looking for more. Eventually it's going to wear out up there as well. Take the grip while you got it, though. Trevor Bayne, you know, he was bragging about his car, how he was able to turn on throttle really well. But I look at his corner entry being awesome. Look how he's able to enter right behind A.J. Allmendinger, put the pressure on him. There was that turn on throttle he was talking about to get underneath him. This is where it's going to get a little trickier there on the bottom of 1 and 2.
Yeah, turning down the racetrack under a car right there, right on the top or middle, that is really impressive. And it shows that I think Trevor has a really good car on older tires. We'll see, if that translates as we get to maybe a longer run here in the final stage.
Yeah, he's definitely got a great car and doing some great things with it. Brian Priest, same thing though, trying to make the same move on AJ Allmendinger here.
Yeah, and you don't see him going all the way to the bottom anymore. Now they know that those guys are committed to the very top lane, and they're using the middle lane where there was some of that resin, but not as little grip as the very bottom has. So they choose that middle.
Something you see there too. Like AJ's he's just not getting in the corner as fast. Probably free in situation. He's trying to enter at the walls. That's where the speed's at, but. If you don't have that security on the entry, it's really hard to carry the speed in that you need to really make the overall lap time. Final lap here of the second stage. Justin Allgaier checked out. 1.8 seconds. Cruising here. After that wild restart, though, it wasn't easy for him.
And these guys are just going to continue their streak at JRM. Allgaier is going to come back around to win their 10th straight stage.
Nice work,
that's pretty unbelievable.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Again, another stage.
Well, the junior motorsports cars have done what they have done all year. Dominate so far. We'll see if they can continue.
Stage number 2 in the books here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Justin Allgaier collected that green and yellow, or green and white checkered flag. And we expect some pit stops here. Teams now all jumping into action as we still have 110 laps yet to go here. So still a long ways to go. These teams trying to put themselves in position to be near the front at the end of the race, not necessarily at the middle of the race. I believe that's why we saw Austin Dillon bring that number 48 car down pit road under the last caution flag, trying to maybe play that track position game a little bit. We'll see some pretty big swings on some of these race cars. Racetrack is very hot, very slick. A lot of drivers complaining about handling conditions out there right now. So expect crew chiefs to take some pretty big gambles here in the mid stages of the race, trying to get those cars in position to win here at Charlotte.
Welcome back. NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Charlotte Motor Speedway on FS1. Justin Allgaier takes stage 2. Junior Motorsports sweeps the stages, guys, here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. No surprise of all the success they've had lately. Ricky, what stands out to you?
Well, Riley Herbst, right before that last caution, had worked his way into the top 10. That was one of the things I was looking at, with him coming from the back and trying to keep those top 10s going. So fell back one spot there on that restart, but looking forward to seeing him go through. And also Trevor Baynes continuing to run his way up through the top 10, up into the top 5 there.
Yeah, and definitely Riley's got his own hot streak he's trying to keep going. How about you, Eric? What stands out?
Well, I think Colleague, we talked about it earlier as well in the pre-race show. They're still looking for that speed. They got a little bit of short run speed, it looks like, in the race today, but they still don't have the long run speed they need to be able to keep up with those JRM cars. So 10 stage wins for the JRM cars. I think we called it stage 1 and stage 2. We look kind of smart, Ricky. We hit the gas on that. And yeah, I think they're going to have to go through the JRM cars to win this race today. If the JRM cars don't take each other out, they're racing really hard.
Yeah, there's been a heck of a battle there, guys. What do you see up there in the booth?
Well, Eric, I think that you better use that term loosely, that we're looking pretty smart, because I don't know I don't know that we're all that smart. But the JRM cars have been dominant. I mean, they've won 10 straight stages. They've led a bunch of laps today, obviously. But the thing that I see is Trevor Bayne. I want to see what happens now that he has some track position.
I like that car. That car looks like it's doing all the right things at the right times. I just want to know what his short run's like, right? We haven't seen him towards the front in a short run. We've seen the long run. He's able to keep making moves, pressuring cars, put them in tricky positions, and capitalizing and making those passes. What's going to happen on the restarts? Got to have a good pit stop first as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we'll see where the track goes. You know, does the resin go away? Does it, you know, continue to be right at the wall? So I'm curious to see as we get later on in this race, does it start kind of working back towards the bottom? And I think that's going to change the way cars handle too.
Well, there's only that last 4 to 6 inches, I'd say, up there in the Reddit groove. So we'll have to see how brave they actually get in getting close to the wall.
I haven't seen as many cars, you know, getting the old Charlotte stripe. We talk about the Darlington stripe. When you start running up there, you would think that's going to happen. Austin, bring us down pit road again.
Yeah, I'm covering 2 race cars that are both in the top 5 and both complaining about being tight. I think that's a trend, but Trevor Bayne wants some fine adjustments. Still a little too gripped up. It sounds like on the gas on exit seems to be helping him longer on speed, like we talked about. And Sam Mayer looking for a bigger swing, still complaining about tights. Been complaining about most of the day. Wants a big string from Andrew Overstreet. Tyler?
Yeah, Josh Berry is definitely pretty happy with this car. That last heat cycle on tires took him from being a little bit loose to where he needs to be. It's funny, Josh is frustrated with the 7, and Justin Allgaier, he is frustrated with Josh Berry, but he's feeling like he's a little bit tight in the middle. Good on entry.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a hang up on the left front there on the 7 car. It makes you wonder if they actually got them all tight, but they were definitely waiting on the last lug nut there.
Well, and you saw a heads up there with Justin Allgaier, actually, because they dropped the jack and he didn't really go. He kind of waited and let him stab at it a couple times. Let's take a look at that. You see he studs the left front here, and see how he kind of gives him a second and said, you know, just make sure you get that.
Yeah.
That's a heads up veteran move of watching him still stab at that thing when it happens. Let's dial up Justin Allgaier. Justin Allgaier, Joey Logano in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. Joey, go ahead, buddy.
Well, you are keeping it very entertaining. You and your teammate racing each other hard. All those JRM cars up front, just like we thought they would be. Also, a great heads-up call on maybe doing a little hesitant step there on pit road and letting your changer get that left front. How's that thing driving? How are you going to get back to the front from where you're at?
Well, obviously, it's driving pretty good right now, Joey. Really, really proud of our team at Junior Motorsports. It's not been for lack of adversity there, especially that last restart, but you know, having adopted Soldier Platoon and Unilever on the car, you know, this weekend is such a cool weekend, obviously racing on Memorial Day weekend and carrying these colors, but most importantly, you know, Monday and what that means for our country and just supporting the men and women that have paid the ultimate sacrifice to our country. So, you know, really proud of our team. You know, we obviously want to get up here and try to get back up in the lead and win this thing, but it's a long way to go, and I know that we're going to have lots of battles before the end of the race, so just keep after it here, man.
Heck yeah, man. We'll have fun. It's been fun to watch. We're looking for a long run. We're hoping we get some longer runs here in a little bit.
Yeah, me too. You know, I think the cautions have really hurt us, and that's disappointing because I think this race is going to play out really cool if we get us some long runs. So we'll keep y'all entertained on TV, and hopefully you guys are having a good time up there in the booth.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a good one, man.
We saw the 99 car dragging that $15,000 jack out for a ride around the racetrack there. Lots of carnage today. Track's tricky. Hopefully these guys can hang on to it.
got that part. And I truly think he's going to be race car. Give everybody a smash that thing. So Chastain, the winner last night in the Truck Series event. This one is TBD as we got 4 laps to go. Back tomorrow for 400 laps of action. And Coca-Cola back down to Brandon.
Justin Allgaier, even though he's in fourth right now, feeling pretty good about the way things are going. Before Team Xfinity was talking to his crew chief, Jason Burnett, who's been together a long time. One of the cars he's concerned about right now is that 54 car of Ty Gibbs. He said he was watching the scoring monitor and he said, look, I'm looking at this guy's times and he's coming up. He's doing it steadily. And Jason said, wait a minute, you're in the car watching the scoring monitor, you're multitasking. Allgaier said, yeah, you know, my ADD is not going to let me sit here and just not do anything.
Ty Gibbs has already won 3 races this season, dug at Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Richmond. And even though he's a young guy, he seems to have the patience to wait till the end to pull the trigger. Great move to win the race at Atlanta. He didn't necessarily burn it out until Las Vegas, but when it came time to decide it, there he was. And we're thrilled to have Alex Cabana back with us here today on pit road as one of our Raleigh Auto Parts pit reporters. Any key observations from the pit entrance here today, Alex?
Well, just checking in. Trevor Bayne out up to the front row. Here's the excitement out the radio, getting in that position all day on the radio. Saying how aggressive he was going to be, how much they could contend, and it just did some of that in the air. Really just planning on it on adjustments, what they could do independently. Now they are in that position. I just talked to Chief Jason Beckman. He said that the line on the racetrack is getting closer and closer to the wall. That means they have to adjust to that. That's what they did on that last pit stop. A lot of confidence in ZT out there.
So let's give you a full field rundown after the completion of stage number 2 in the Alsco Uniform 300. Josh Berry, your leader. Trevor Bayne, second. Third, Sam Mayer. Fourth is Justin Allgaier. Sheldon Creed has had a great day at Philly Chevrolet for RCR Racing. He is currently 5th. 6th, Brian Priest. The Hunt brothers, 4th. AJ Allmendinger, 7th. 8th, Daniel Hemrick. Austin Hill now runs the 9th. And Riley Hurt runs the 10th. Mike Schneider, who's involved in the spin here on the front stretch, has rallied to 11th. Ty Gibbs.
Welcome back to an absolutely perfect afternoon here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we still know Boyer's not driving that drone because it's still working. We've talked about food a lot up here as we've gone through the day. Oh, man.
No, you don't. No. Pepperoni and a little sausage. That's all you need.
Tyler, you like pineapple on your pizza?
Going Hawaiian on us?
I like pineapple on pizza, on Mexican food, some ACP with some pineapple mixed in a burrito. Pineapple's great with everything.
I would tell you that I don't think that surprises me. Does that surprise you guys?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We sent Adam out to get some Hunt Brothers pizza, but maybe he's still hunting. Maybe he didn't understand.
I think he's just in the car eating it himself.
Yeah. Well, we definitely aren't eating any donuts. Blaney's ate all the donuts up here.
Big donut guy.
Let's hear some radio from the 8.
He's shading down there to put me in a bad spot. Next time, I don't see it any different. That's why it keeps happening. He's going to win that corner on the top. He doesn't have to pinch me off right in the center of the corner. He runs the top every lap, and then when someone's on the inside of him, he runs the middle. If I'm wrong, tell me. I'm all about getting better, but that's how I see it.
I see it the same exact way. I don't know I did anything different there, but man, he just stayed in it. Just kept trying to turn me the infield there. What happened? We didn't talk.
So a lot of venting, but actually no one talking about it and getting it resolved. So I don't see that ending anytime soon.
Yeah, and Justin's spotter was definitely trying to keep the situation calm.
Yeah.
Here we go. Back green again, the third stage. The Arby's 250. See the top, Josh Berry up there, Trevor Bayne on the bottom.
You know, we talked about seeing what Trevor Bayne could do. You know, now that he's got a little bit of track position, we saw that car be really good at the end of that second stage. So we'll see where it shakes out. We'll see what short run speed he's got. and see if he can hang it for the long run. But it looks like he's wrapping the line really good.
Really good 3 and 4. Almost able to clear Josh Berry. Not quite. See if he can hang down here at 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's what happened the first lap. He got loose through 1 and 2, but it looks like his car's a lot better on the bottom through 3 and 4 and slides up. Oh my gosh.
We talked about this. These guys aren't even thinking about committing to the bottom and wrapping the corner to the exit. They are starting down there, and as soon as they hear their spotter say clear, they are releasing the wheel and sliding up. But look at Ryan Preece on the bottom, back up to second.
But it looks like you can get away with that bottom move in 3 and 4 if your car's handling good enough. But you need to be up the racetrack in 1 and 2. The bottom is not as good.
Well, tell Ryan Preece that.
I know, right?
He's back to the bottom. You see he's able to make a shorter distance, make some gains on Trevor Bayne in the 18, but look at the momentum Trevor Bayne's able to carry down the backstretch, make up that difference. Well, I'll tell you what, boys, the Junior Motorsports dominance, it still might be leading, but the other two aren't up there.
Yeah, there's some new players in the game now, you know, with the 5 and the 18. We'll see where their cars go as, you know, the 7's kind of getting rolling here. And it was actually, you know, we talked about not being able to wrap 1 and 2. He wrapped it better than most right there. He was able to kind of stay down, still didn't complete the pass, but that looks something that we haven't seen much all day, to be able to follow the line a little bit later around the corner.
Yeah, it looks like you've got about 2 or 3 laps, and then if you don't find a hole, you might be going backwards.
There you see Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst. You know, Ty, we expected him to come through the field probably a little bit more than where he is right now. He's running back here in 8th spot. You know, it's kind of where he's been, kind of hanging around that area. Riley getting really high here.
And that's that pushing the boundary that we talked about. You know, you
a little bit.
brush the wall just a little bit.
Cleared low.
We'll see if he's got a flat.
Oh,
yeah,
there it goes.
Gonna hold up. Yellow's out here. Got a bunch more coming.
No, that's that pushing the issue. We talked about where's the resin going to go? Where's the grip level going to go? And, you know, we saw Riley keep pushing the groove up a little bit, trying to search for grip, and just ran out of it. And there's like a little spot to where, you know, that resin's kind of sticky, but then it holds all the dust from the racetrack and all kind of some marbles.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what came first. Is it the chicken or the egg? Did he hit the wall and that's what cut down the right front, or is it just... This will kind of give us our answer. No, I wonder, was it going down? Because I'm not sure he hit the wall there.
Yeah,
I wonder if it was going down already. There, we see it is down as he goes into turn 3. Nothing you can do at that point. You were very long for the ride.
Yeah, but it didn't look like he may have rubbed the wall just a little bit.
It shouldn't have been enough to
not to cut the tire.
Yeah, I wonder if he's had a slow leaker. Here, let's listen to him here.
Wait on the one side. 1989 good dive bomb here.
I don't even think he hit the wall.
Yeah. I don't think he hit it. I think he had an issue there, and then it really showed its head right here. And the good news is to all this, he was already up against the wall before the tire blew out. Yes, it did not help his day in any way, don't get me wrong. But he could have hit the wall way harder and ended his day. I think they're going to be able to fix this thing, put tires on it, and maybe be okay.
Well, while we've got a minute, let's get some updates from pit road here. Tyler, what do you have?
Yeah, Austin Dillon at the beginning of this race was really struggling being loose on entry and over those bumps, really everywhere on the racetrack. They made a really big adjustment on that race car and fixed the entry, but since been plowing center and all the way through exit. But they've been going back and forth on some adjustments. Before the last stage ended, they came down and made adjustments without taking tires. But it seems like the car's getting better, and that 48 car is heading in the right direction. Austin?
Yeah, it's some good discussion on the radio, listening to Trevor Bayne. They gained 2 spots on that last pit stop. They only did air pressure adjustment, trying to make that pit stop faster. Seemed to get the gain out of it, but obviously saw Ryan Preece really roll the bottom there, and he and Stevie Reeves, the spotter, were talking about, you know, what lanes, where's it changing, and why is the short run speed struggling. So I think we've seen that car be good on the long run, but we had a lot of cautions today.
That we have. We have had a ton of cautions, and I think when you look at this particular race, you have to expect some cautions. But it's going to make it interesting here at the end because we're getting short on laps and shorter on tires, so we'll see what happens.
And there you see the tire that came off of the number 98 car driven by Riley Herbst. Been a long couple of days for that Richard Boswell-led crew. They got into the wall yesterday in practice, took that car back to the shop, worked on it all night long, brought it back. Riley's been trying to work his way up to the front of the field, and as you saw, he just got down into the wall down there in turns 1 and 2, and then down again into the wall in turns 3 and 4. That tire right there, the reason why. Riley Herbst looking to rebound, make his way back up to the front of the field. As he comes up back down one more time, third time in a row he's been down here on pit road. You can see the team going to go underneath the hood, try to look at maybe some damage to the right front suspension on that number 98 car. Team still working as the field circulating around the racetrack. As I said, a long couple of days for Riley Herbst and this team. Making it even longer here this afternoon after a scrape at the wall down in turns 3 and 4.
Tonight, Baseball Night in America is back on Fox. Mookie Betts and the Dodgers battle the Diamondbacks, or the Phillies take on Pete Alonso and the Mets, or Cubs White Sox. It all begins tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area. Let's see a little on this date. May 28th.
Like this. Golden Gate Bridge opens up. Well, 1937.
Didn't look open there.
First night game at Yankee Stadium.
Al Unser Sr. wins his third of 4 Indy 500s. Look at this guy. National Hamburger Day.
Come on.
With the Daytona 500
is that
trophy.
Is that like the win? Is that your win lunch? Did you cheap out?
That was post-race of the Daytona 500, bought the Harley J and everything, and picked out a Steak and Shake. Good excuse for a cheat day.
Okay.
I mean, you should have at least gone for some steaks or something, bud. I mean, you couldn't.
He went.
I know you can afford a little bit more than after that. You win the 500.
What happened after Steak and Shake is not talked about on TV.
I don't believe any of that, Austin. I believe zero amount.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
He went and had a milkshake.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Mom didn't let me, but I had one anyway. And we're coming to the restart zone. Josh Berry decided to take the top.
Tight, straight back, inside bottom 5.
And the 5's done good on the bottom here, so don't count him out. Look at him roll through 1 and 2. This is his spot. If he's going to get the lead, it can happen down here in turn 3.
Oh, man. See some contact there. Back 5 or 6 rows.
Good forward momentum from the 5, and I think he's going to clear him.
It's going to be tight.
Big
wreck. They're wrecking like crazy back here. Got them all. You see the 48. Sounded like he may have had a tire down. That's Austin Dillon. Alfredo.
Joe Graff Jr. Ryan Sieg, unfortunately. Gosh, that looked like, I believe the 48 had a tire go down, and everyone just, it was almost like a wreck at Daytona or Talladega. Came up and everyone just sandwiched on in there. Innocent bystanders.
Yeah, it definitely has. You know, when you're committed to running that top line and you have somebody plug it up, there's 50% less ways out. It's hard to slow down. And you hate to see that for Ryan Sieg and his team. Those guys work so hard to get to the racetrack each week, and they've done so well the last couple of years with limited resources and the things that they've had, and they just keep getting better and better. car tore up today. Let's see what happened.
You see the 48 there on the bottom coming off of the corner down here at turn 2 down the back straightaway. Little contact there, which might have been where the flat tire comes from. And there you see he's just having issues and they slowing down.
Yeah, he knew he had a problem and he was just trying to slow down, and everybody else just couldn't get checked up fast enough.
I think that little bit of contact, Kevin, off of turn 2 was enough just to cut the right front down.
Yeah, you see the tire mark on the back of Brandon Jones's wheel.
You see the sparks right there.
Yeah, tires down.
Oh, gosh. Just nowhere to go for all these guys. All these guys here in the back did a good job getting this thing cranked to the bottom. You may be on TV saying, why didn't they just turn left? They're already turning left as sharp as they possibly can, going at the speeds they are, and trying to whoa a car up to change directions is what they're already trying to do. So trying to ask more of it is always very, very challenging.
And as a driver, you're kind of in a position, too, to where you don't want to just slam on the brakes and get rear-ended from behind and turn yourself. So it's always to me, it's always a balance of how much do I slow down to try to miss this? But in those guys were just a wad of cars there that were.
You see Ellis just barely getting through there, missing the back bumper of Ryan Sieg by an inch.
And everything happens so fast, you know, and sometimes you just can't react fast enough. But
well, we'll get all this cleaned up, see if we can come back and make some consecutive laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Tough break for a handful of teams down there in turns 3 and 4. That big crash involving Austin Dillon, Ryan Sieg, and several others. Those two teams looking to capitalize on some momentum, of course. Austin Dillon driving the number 48 car that Tyler Reddick carried to victory lane last week down at Texas Motor Speedway. And while Ryan Sieg's still looking for that career first NASCAR Xfinity Series victory, that team's got some momentum as well. They finished up in the top 5 back at Talladega and racked up a couple of top 10 finishes the last few times out. So a tough way to end the day for both Austin Dillon and Ryan Sieg.
Thanks a lot, Brent McMillan. Looking down on pit road, Mark, Ryan Sieg's crash machine is right across from our broadcast position. They're not even really working on it. It looks like they're just trying to attach a little more securely to the record. I think it's safe to say he's going to be gone. Joe Graham Jr.'s 07 car also on pit road. It's not receiving any attention. So that's at least 2 that I think are going to be eliminated, probably also along with Anthony Alfredo. Back down to Brandon.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Sieg, you were mentioning his car, they finally got the front end lifted up. The front end's pretty damaged, and they were just trying to find a good place to get it secure. He actually got out of his car. He came down pit road. He parked his car in the pit box with Brett Moffitt, got out and was visibly upset, visibly frustrated. Someone from the medical team came and grabbed him. He had to walk down to the care center. I don't even know that Ryan Sieg could come at all. Pretty frustrated with this.
Thanks a lot, Brandon.
Again, this yellow flag for a multi-car crash up there between turns 3 and 4. The Austin Dillon machine is still pinned up against the wall. Safety crews working on that. You know, Doug, every time I think of Josh Perry, I'm a big fan of this guy because in 2020, what that month ago, he was the champion of the NASCAR Xfinity late model series, 27 wins and 40 starts that year. And here he is now one of the men to beat week in, week out in motorsport.
Well, he's got a lot of experience, a lot of laps under his belt. I think he's a nice piece to put in there in motorsport. Now, I feel like it's two better drivers. You've got Perry, and you've got all guys.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we have had our share of carnage today.
And fire.
And fire, apparently.
This is maybe the biggest piece of carnage we've seen so far.
Definitely the most in one pile.
A lot of cars tore up there. These restarts are so aggressive and a little bit of contact. We've seen a couple tires get cut down from contact and some innocent bystanders here. Austin, you got something for us here?
Yeah, I had a lot of guys complain under caution. They obviously had a really big wreck, and there is trash and debris all over the racetrack, and they're very concerned about their tires. They also don't have too many sets of them left, so I want to protect these for sure. Off to Tyler.
Yeah, it sounds like Noah Graxon here. They're coming down and changing one more plug wire on the engine of their Chevrolet. They clearly seem like they have okay speed, even being down on the power, but they got back on the lead lap, which is good for them. And they're trying just to throw some more things at it, see if they can find the issue inside their car, and hopefully get back to the front.
And those guys have done a great job of managing their day. That's what you hope for when you keep running around a racetrack, right? You hope that you have carnage and cars fall out of the race and all kinds of things happen so that you can get some points out of the race. So
well, they keep trying to fix it, right?
Yeah.
They're in hopes. They must have changed all the other spark plug wires and spark plugs and everything else they can do. That's all they got left.
I wonder what those guys in the studio are doing.
Nothing. Eating ice cream. Look at them. Eating ice cream.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, you guys don't have any Fox staff bringing you ice cream up there?
No.
We had donuts a little bit ago.
Guys, we're doing great.
We've got Adam.
Got pizza.
Adam's over here just sitting down. He's wondering what we're even talking about. We don't have a headset on.
he's searching Twitter right now saying, "Oh, my job looks pretty good. Oh yeah,
I'm getting a raise."
Yeah, getting a raise. Well, you guys enjoy your ice cream. I'm glad that you guys are
ice cream goes really good
paying
with
attention.
all those caution laps.
Yeah,
we wouldn't know.
Well,
so Shannon takes care of us down here. You guys got pizza. We got ice cream. Everybody's happy. I got the strawberry shortcake, by the way.
I'm going other.
So strawberry.
I'm a chocolate or vanilla guy. Just depends on my mood.
I like a good Neapolitan. Get all three of those flavors combined, and it's pretty good.
Look at you getting fancy. Mint chocolate chip. Wow. You can't go wrong with mint chocolate chip.
You can go way wrong with mint chocolate chip.
A little chocolate syrup on it.
What are you guys eating there, Brad? What kind?
Yeah, I'm all strawberry shortcake here.
This strawberry shortcake's good, but I'm more of a chocolate guy.
I'm a chocolate guy too, but it's pre-race or pre-practice and qualifying, so I went for the real fruit bar strawberry flavor.
Look at you go. Always healthy, Eric. Always healthy.
Hey, and by the way, pineapple does go on pizza.
Yes, it does.
Only for a few.
They're way off on this pineapple thing. That's not how they've designed pizza to be, okay? When they're in New York City, they get the pizza going. They didn't think pineapple.
You got the Italian
pepperonis,
pizza,
the sausage.
He talks like he's from New York. He's from Connecticut.
Yeah. We finally got Joey to not laugh. Well, no, it's back.
I'm back.
We tried. We
right,
want to know how many times you were going to laugh during this broadcast, and you've already blown away all the odds here, Joseph. So I lost that bet.
I got a bit of a Kenny Wallace laugh. I already know.
The guys that are actually having to work that don't have ice cream and don't have pizza and don't have snacks and donuts are down on pit road. So let's go check in and see what's happening down there.
Well, way to make it sound like a depressing place, but two Austins that are not overly happy with how the life is right now. What do you think? Bit of a tough situation there on the backstretch.
Yeah, I didn't know I was 3 wide until it was too late. He said 3 wide, and I was already in the door of the 19, and my right front started cutting down, and I tried to get woed up, but I couldn't get there. I should have tried to get farther off the track, but unfortunately, I hate we wiped out all those cars like that, and he started to say they're going to put you 3 wide, and I just thought the 19 was there, and we hit right there, and it knocked my right front down, and that was pretty much it.
It's a tough deal. Somebody bring this guy some ice cream.
Well, Austin, I guess the only thing more depressing than having to interview the second place guy is having to interview somebody at the Infield Care Center. So good job with that.
Could have brought him ice cream, I guess, to make it better.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should
that
get
would
some
make
ice
it better.
cream.
If you're in the Infield
Way
Care Center,
better.
like, you're already hot, angry. We got ice cream, man.
That should be standard in all infield care centers.
Yeah, they should have a cooler of it.
Ice cream. Make you feel better.
How about some fastest laps here, guys? Josh Berry, 30.63. He's got it going. What I see is JRM 8179. Top 4 cars, all JRM, all
And
fastest
all
lap.
5 are Chevrolets.
Yeah. I see that.
Good job. All right, Tyler.
Yeah, so again, no ice cream down here in this pit, and you know, it is tough to watch the car you win and get crashed. So I'm a little bit sad about that. So I was hoping we were going to keep that thing together and win some more races, but the guys back at Big Machine Racing are going to have some work to do. Tough day.
Well, I got a question for Tyler. Is that the same car you raced last week?
It was.
They turned it around.
It
Wow.
was. Yeah. So they got some more work to do to it now, unfortunately. Hate that for those guys.
Well, we have solved a lot of problems here. We've figured out how to make things better at the Infield Care Center. We've figured out that the studio isn't doing much, and the Infield Care Center interviews should have ice cream. Austin, what do you have?
Yeah, still no ice cream down here. Maybe Anthony Alfredo, Pasta Boy here, can hook me up with a dude wipe because it is getting swampy down here. But tell us about your day. Sorry you got hooked up in that wreck.
It was pretty rough. You know, we just didn't have quite the balance we needed in our dude wipe Chevrolet Camaro, but came from the back twice, drove all the way up to the top 12. So I think we had a solid car. We just, third week in a row, had an issue on pit road and had to go to the back. And just like last week, got caught up from something in front of us. So that was pretty big. Need some dude wipes to clean up after that one for sure. We just got cleaned out and there was just nowhere to go. You know, they just all kind of wrecked from the bottom all the way up the top, and we went into it, got hit from behind, all four sides it felt like, but just unfortunate. It sucks. We had such a good streak going. We hadn't had any incidents the last 2 weeks. We've had 2 wrecked race cars, and we don't have enough of them, so it's going to be tough to rebound, but we'll do our best. Fortunately, we got a road course up next, so we can take that car there and try to have a good run, but just thankful for the opportunity to be here. Not what we need at being on the playoff bubble, but we're just going to have to go win one.
Yeah, tough luck for a playoff bubble car. Thanks, Anthony. Need another ice cream. Looking for maybe a third one here. Ryan Sieg got caught up in that deal. I'm trying, man. This guy's the first one to smile in the Infield Care Center. I appreciate that. Well, tell us about your day. Sorry you got caught up in that wreck.
Yeah, no, it sucks here at Charlotte. We had a good A-game forward. We had good Roush Shades power all day. Just trying to get a handle on it, and it was a struggle. And then the 48 looked like he had a problem. I think him and the 19 got together, and he had a flat. So I tried to check up and then go around him, and then others just didn't get the message. Just a racing deal right there. Just tough here at Charlotte, but all good. Hopefully get it together and go to Portland and try to have a normal race.
Heard that. Another ice cream down here for Sieg, please.
Well, the ice creams are better than handing out dude wipes, Austin. So I think it's that was a long caution, and I think as we go back to green here, we're right back in the same situation that we were at the beginning of the race. Now we're having to refire on used tires, and the grooves up all the way against the wall, and it seems like the outside lane is the preferred groove now on the restarts, except for now.
You would say that. I think this is the difference between different tendencies in drivers and cars. Ryan Preece is the leader of this race. We didn't note that very well. He chose the bottom because he just got the lead from the bottom, and we talked about how good his car is wrapping the bottom, putting his left sides on that paint and wrapping it. Josh Berry is not that car at all. He has been committed more than anybody on the top. So now you got 2 cars on the front row, both with strengths, but completely different strengths. And now we're going to see how that is when they're lined up side by side. This is going to be a fun restart to watch.
Sorry about that. We'll see how the bottom is on, used tires. Can you keep running the bottom and hooking that line as long as you can with stickers? I don't think you can, but Preece's car, it might just be working the best down there on the bottom, unlike everyone else's.
4, 3, 2, 1 on you. Green, green, green.
Josh Berry's done a good job of making a top lane. We're getting AJ Allmendinger trying to go 3 wide behind Sam Mayer. It didn't work out, but it could have been a lot worse. And the 8's going to prevail here and take the 7 with him.
Yeah, and I think AJ prevented that from being a lot worse. He could have stayed in the gas and probably turned Sam Mayer there, but it all worked out.
You're behind him.
And it's a little bit confusing, right? For me sitting here watching, it's kind of like one time, like you said, one time the bottom goes, one time the top goes. Definitely depends on the car and the launch, I guess, on the restart. But it's been very, very two-sided, I guess, as to which lane is the successful lane on the restarts.
To your point, Kevin, there's so many variables that go into it, right? It's where's your car strong? How many laps are on your tires? That was one big piece that was different, where he was able to take the lead before. Now is a refire. Is your car not refire as well? You're going up against a car that's been very, very strong with Josh Berry, that's led a lot of laps here today. Got a stage win. it's going to be tough. Look at Ty Gibbs.
We've seen like
half
sliders into one, all day. And like you think about clearing them up, but you don't. And hey, Tyler, do you got some more info on the 5?
Yeah, definitely listening to the 5's radio. He's been talking about it quite a bit. Struggling to really make the front tires work on his race car around really anywhere off of the bottom of the racetrack. So that's why he's been running down on the inside and chose the inside on the race car.
Yeah, and that's great information as you look at the Hunt Brothers Pizza onboard, or the Ford Performance onboard here on top of Ryan Priest's Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford. But when you have a tight race car with the front end and you can't carry that speed on the top side on the entry to get back to the throttle that shoves the nose, you can't make the speed through the center of the corner. So he's having to run the bottom.
It looks like the 9, he got the lucky dog. Feel like they fixed the motor. It looks really fast. We haven't talked about him a lot today just because he's had that issue and went a lap down, but
still definitely something wrong with that motor, don't you think? Second half of the straightaway?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just him coming off the bottom or middle or not.
I'd say, as close as he's able to stay there to the 2, I think that thing's running. There's a replay. Looks like we may have had a bit of a close call here. Oh.
Yeah, the 2's done a good job of rebounding from his pit road penalty earlier to get himself back in contention.
Nice move by Noah right down the center there. Look at it. Look at this move. Excuse me.
I mean, his car was, obviously really fast early. We saw he led the first, 20 laps until he had the issues. So, yeah, I think if they get a couple more cautions, might be right back in this thing.
Guys, he's running 11th. He's passing cars 3 wide in the middle. Those are some gutsy moves that really could have ended up in a bad day, but he's finding holes where he can and moving forward. Up against the wall, kind of what we would expect from Noah. That's a common move I think you see from him. He likes to run the wall.
And it seems like that bottom in 3 and 4, you can definitely get away with it, but it seems like the groove is kind of moving into that Homestead style, right against the wall if you want to be really fast in the high groove, especially through turns 1 and 2 right now. Well, we're in the middle of a green flag run, and racing has been close all day long here, and we'll be back for more.
Just past lap 125. We now have left 72 laps to go here in the Alsco 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've been talking about the Junior Motorsports team all day long, looking for their first ever victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Boy, are they in position to do it today. Josh Berry and Justin Allgaier have dominated so far this afternoon. They continue to dominate, both running in the top 2 positions. Their teammate Sam Mayer started from the pole here this afternoon. He's dropped back into the 4th position, but still near the front, ready to strike and put himself in victory lane for the first time in his NASCAR Xfinity Series career. We've also been keeping an eye on Ty Gibbs, last year's winner, started all the way out back. After an issue in practice and qualifying yesterday, he has worked his way up into the top 10, currently sitting in the 7th position, knocking on the door of the top 5. 70 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we look at these guys just rip around the top of the racetrack, Joey.
Yeah, we've seen this track move around. I tell you what, this is one of the best Charlotte races I've seen as far as the track moving around. The 16 has a right front down. Austin, what do you got?
AJ's been struggling with a really tight race car throughout the entire run. He's dropped like an anchor, and he's obviously got a right front tire down. He's coming down pit road. Don't know if he ran over debris under that last caution. Sounded like something drivers were concerned about, but not ideal for AJ and the 16 team.
Yeah, and AJ's had a top 10 in every race this year, so those guys have done a great job in battling and getting good finishes. But I looked up just at the time that he was rubbing the wall through the middle of 1 and 2 as the car smoked, and I'm sure that's what cut the tire down. Tyler, what do you have on the 9?
Yeah, so Noah Gragson, bit confusing. They clearly have speed right now, but they do not think they have their engine issue fixed. But yeah, I'm watching Noah rip the fence. It's getting me all excited in here and excited to go practice here in a little bit. So 9's rolling in the right direction. Whether he does have power or not, it seems like he's making it happen. I mean, look at that. That's right where I'd want to be.
And, you know, he's come by here since he's gotten a little bit of a gap, and it still sounds off. Like, we can hear it from the booth. It still sounds, but he's still ripping. So
I think he's going so fast through the corner that it makes it run okay the first half of the straightaway, and then you see that it's not running the second half of the straightaway.
Yeah, I think you're right, Blaine. It definitely doesn't sound right. But you can't even notice, like, the run he's carrying off the top is so big, I guess.
It's like being down a cylinder like at Richmond wouldn't be a bad thing.
Right,
you know?
at Richmond, but we're at Charlotte where
he's on the gas.
Horsepower. I mean, he's fast. His lap times, you know, I've been watching the lap times here. He's within 3 or 4 tenths of the 8 and the 7, which have been the strongest cars all day long. So he's moving through the field for sure. You see Ryan Preece fighting Sam Mayer. These guys are running a little bit lower on the racetrack. We've heard Preece talk about how his car works on the bottom. We haven't seen Preece really run the wall. He's running more of the bottom of the resin, which would be the second lane.
There's something I've started to kind of notice with some of the guys that have they run up the racetrack. The 18, you know, the 9 starting to do it. A couple guys, they're really starting to angle down off of turn 4, like to the splitting the seam. So we could see maybe some of the resin going away. The 8's doing it a little bit, and the 7. So it's interesting how this is one of those things that track changing and drivers changing their line. It's one of those neat things throughout the races. The 1 has finally gotten underneath the 5.
Yeah, moving around is definitely one of those situations where you kind of just go by feel, right? And then you find something that works, and then you grind it out until it doesn't work anymore and go from there. So we'll see if this keeps moving around.
Exerting himself. He just passed Ryan Preece for that 3rd position. So now Junior Motorsports cars running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd as they look for their first ever victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's been a great run for those cars. They have swept the last 10 stage victories here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. They picked up both of them earlier this afternoon. Both Josh Berry and Justin Allgaier picking up the stage victory. They are running 1-2. Their teammate Sam Mayer trying to close that gap as he now sits in 3rd.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're in the middle of what's getting ready to be the end of a green flag run, or the end of a cycle. We can't call it a green flag run. We're getting ready to be at the end of the cycle that could result in green flag pit stops.
We're here maybe 10 to 15 laps, probably closer to 15 here, but you know, it kind of begs the question, right? You got quite a bit of tire fall off here. They're running a couple seconds slower than their fast lap, and you ask the question, do I short pit? If I pit a couple laps before, I get a couple seconds a lap quicker. But as many cautions have been in this race, there's some risk, right? If you pit and then the caution comes out, you're trapped down a lap, you're going to lose your track position. So it's tough, but you see the battle for the lead has tightened up as it gets your dirty air here with the lap traffic.
Yeah, and the guy who's hoping that the caution doesn't come out and that cycle goes all the way around is A.J. Allmendinger. He had to pit for his flat tire. And if that does come into play, guys, what's going to be the hardest thing for these guys to deal with as they come to pit road? Because most likely they probably didn't practice much of it.
No, I mean, that's one of the biggest things with the very limited practice that we have now is we used to practice that all the time. You know, when we had 2-3 practices, throughout the weekend, you practice that stuff all the time. But I doubt anyone has. The top two, Barry and Allgaier, they're so far out in front. It's going to be really close. If Allgaier short pits Barry by a lap, maybe he comes out in front of him. So that's kind of one of those games that crew chiefs are going to be thinking about right here as we get closer and closer to that cycle.
And typically teammates may tell each other when they're going to pit, but I don't think in this scenario you're going to tell them, because that is your chance to win. It's only the two of you in this race if it goes green. You look at Sam Mayer back there, 7.5 seconds, or 7 seconds back, sorry, from these two guys. So it's really a two-man race if it goes green.
Yeah, one thing I love about Josh Berry and just he brings that short track mentality to the racetrack. I know we talked earlier about the little bumping and banging, but that's just how you race on a short track, and he has brought that fire here.
Well, it's fun. I got to talk with the Junior Motorsports guys this week as I sat down and do an interview with them. And, Josh Berry's been there longer than Justin Allgaier. Yeah. Just doing all the different jobs you could imagine, from gluing the lug nuts for pit practice to driving Xfinity cars. He's done it all there. Pretty cool success story.
Brandon Jones, he's had a very eventful day, from his caution to that great save in 3 and 4 to contact with Austin Dillon. He's rebounded pretty good. He's one of the guys who is down a set of tires that hopes that we do this, one green flag stop, and then it runs to the end.
Because if the caution comes out for him after he gets 15 or 20 laps on those tires,
he's in big trouble.
Big trouble.
And you look at Sam Mayer, and I think today was a great test for Sam Mayer today. Qualified on the pole. What's his car going to drive like in the race? Tough racetrack, and he's done great. And I think Trevor Bayne has also done a great job. I really thought that he was going to contend with those the 8 and the 7 car of Josh Berry and Justin Allgaier, but just seems to not quite have the speed that those two cars have.
Not quite, but you keep yourself in contention, right? He's up here in 4th. It looks like he's going to try to pass for 3rd here shortly. All you need is a caution and a good pit stop, and you got yourself on the front row, right? And then you have a shot on a restart to do something. And so you just got to keep yourself close. That's what the veteran race car drivers are really, really good at. It's just staying close enough for something good to happen and then capitalize on it and finishing better than maybe you should have because of the execution of the race.
Yeah, this is probably the first time that Ty Gibbs, for him, it's been pretty cut straightforward. As he's come to this racetrack before, he's run the bottom of the racetrack, grind away on the bottom of the racetrack, and sometimes in the middle. But this top groove is not something that a lot of these guys have seen.
Yeah, ever. For a lot of them, they all been here.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys haven't been racing that long. I mean, take Allgaier out, and Allmendinger, but most of them have never seen top work here before. And there it is, working right there. He's a 54 working on Ryan Preece. That run off the top, that's what it's all about. Carry the momentum down into turn 3. Clear him before you get in. A little slider here, all the way up. Preece will try to cross him back over.
If he's going to try to, he's not going to fight him that hard. He lifted a little bit.
I'm just going to get right back in line here.
Yeah.
He saw the 19 coming.
Well, we're in the middle of our longest green flag run of the day that is most likely going to lead up into green flag pit stop. So we'll have that when we come back.
Trying to make his way to the front and make it back-to-back victories here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's made his way up into the top 5 for the first time here this afternoon. He just looked his way past Ryan Preece. Preece struggling a little bit later in this long green flag run. We knew that track conditions are going to be hot, slick, and greasy out there, and apparently the number 5 car not handling the way that Ryan Preece needs it to right now. But Ty Gibbs' car starting to come alive here late in the race. Does he have a shot at making it 2 wins in a row? One more pit stop coming up. Make some adjustments on that car to find out if he can go to victory lane here at Charlotte this afternoon.
Welcome back to Charlotte. We're in the middle of green flag pit stops. Austin.
Yeah, we got 18 of Trevor Bayne on pit road, one of the earliest leaders to come down, and he's been really struggling with the tight race car, but he's driven up from the back half of the top 10 all the way into the top 3, so that car is really fast for him right now, just trying to free it up.
Yeah, and as we come back from the break here, the biggest thing you want to do here, the crew chiefs are going to be yelling and screaming, get all you can on the entry to pit road, but don't speed. And I believe the race could be won or lost right here between the leaders. Austin?
Yeah, we got the 19 of Brandon Jones, who's had a very eventful day. Don't even know how many sets of tires he's got left, but got him coming down pit road, getting 4 tires. I think all the leaders are starting to come now. 54 as well. He's had a really solid day. Probably thought he'd contend a little bit more, but got the one at Sam Mayer as well. Really sideways in his box. They've been struggling with a tight race car, trying to get them to free up as well.
And guys, we already see the effect of cars speeding on pit road. We've got the 18 and 21 too fast on pit road.
The 18 of Trevor Bayne was running up there, fighting for the 3rd position with Sam Mayer before the pit cycle. That is going to cost them there. What I am surprised about here, and here comes the 7 on the pit road. Finally, this is going to be a shot to take over the lead.
And we saw, I mean, since the leaders were so far out front, you know, they were 7 seconds out front of 3rd place. They could do that. They could afford to run long in case there's a caution and you know, not have to worry about it. So, Allgaier, what do you got, Tyler?
Yeah, Justin Allgaier is still pretty happy with his car. Just been stuck behind the 8 of Josh Berry. You know, as this track's been changing, it's been continuing to come to him. So I think they're pretty happy with their car, just trying to leapfrog the 8 car here and get ahead.
Yeah, and as you see Justin Allgaier sitting sideways in his pit stall there, what'll be worth more? The loss of time getting into his pit box because he has to take his time, or the lap early on pit road being faster. So where is that going to equal out and what's going to be better? Tyler?
Yeah, the 8 car of Josh Berry's been getting a lot of good information from his spotter Jason Jarrett about where the 7 car is running differently, trying to take that clean air away and keep Justin Allgaier behind him. He as well is pretty happy with his race car, not many adjustments there, and hopefully get back out in front of the 7 car here.
Looked like a pretty clean stop from the 8. I think he's going to be in pretty good shape based on the 7. He's just now exiting pit road. It'll be fairly close, but
it's going to be close.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be.
The momentum of the 7 coming off of turn 2.
Oh, the 7's going to get him.
There's the 18 coming down pit road for serving his penalty. And down the backstretch, you guys can't see it right now, but he just took the lead when this whole thing cycles out. Justin Allgaier just passed the 8, but getting stuck on the lap traffic.
Great battle for between the 8 and the 7. Switching back and forth.
We're pitting this time.
Yeah, we see.
And here, this is going to be the battle for the lead and possibly the win if it continues to go green. This is what we were seeing outside our window here. These guys came off pit road side by side.
Yeah, and Josh Berry, before the pit stop, had a 0.7 of a second lead. So that one lap, more contact.
These guys,
we know that they were thrilled earlier.
Been racing hard. They know this is for the win. I mean, they know that whoever, and this is the easiest time, I think, to pass each other before it moves up to the wall is dominant, like it was before those round of pit stops. So they know it's at stake here.
Tyler?
No, Gregson, definitely car has lots of speed, but they're still struggling to get all the power that they need to have down the straightaways. Car does sound not where it needs to be. Sounds a little bit off down the straightaways, but clearly with those issues, Noah still has plenty of speed. So hopefully they can come back out on the racetrack in a good spot here.
Well, Noah's done a really good job of managing his day, and he's just found a line that just rips the fence, even if he's not the fastest down the straightaway. And you hear the spotter tell the 7 there that they're racing for the win when this all cycles around. And he's right.
These guys are running qualifying laps right now. All you got, I just saw the 8 of Josh Berry go in the corner over that bump that we've seen so many cars spin out. He was sideways again. They are giving it all they got, knowing that this is the win right in front of them. I think Josh Berry knows he's got a little better short run car. We've seen that. We've seen Justin Allgaier with a little better long run car. We've seen that all year long, every track too, by the way, but definitely showing up again here today. His chance to win the race is right now.
Yeah, there's still 37 laps to go.
Yeah,
like, it's not like there's 5 to go, 10 to go. There's still a lot of racing left, but
you let him go, he's gone.
Yeah, you can't let him get too far away from you.
And I'm sure Josh Berry's a little bit frustrated because of the fact that he came in with the lead and he came back out and probably doesn't know all the circumstances. But that lap earlier pitting is what got Justin Allgaier the lead.
Yeah, got to be aggressive. That was a part of being conservative on strategy, right? Pitting 1 lap afterwards cost him.
And as the leader, that's tough, right? You know, for the crew chief to call, because of the fact that you also don't want to lose the race because the caution comes out and you pit too early, and then you wind up pitting 1 lap later than the guy behind you and you come out in second. So it's a double-edged sword.
These guys are racing each other through lap traffic here to 19 and the 1. They're on the lead lap, trying to pass a couple lap cars while they're trying to race each other. Always a tough situation to be in. Trying to capitalize on momentum changes as you're trying to pass other cars. Josh ain't letting him get away, but you see how much his car's wiggling. That just shows how hard he is trying right now, pushing so hard.
Yeah, and as he's raced most of the day in the lead, it's a lot more fun in the lead than it is in second. The car tends to handle a heck of a lot better than it does while you're running behind another one.
30 lap to go mark, and the two Junior Motorsports teammates still going hard at it. How about that pit call by Justin Allgaier's team, bringing him down 1 lap early to give him 1 extra lap on those new tires? That's the difference. That's what allowed him to leapfrog past Josh Berry to take the lead. 2 of the Joe Gibbs Racing cars have positioned themselves well up into the top 5 as well. And we need to give a shout out to Brandon Jones. 2 spins this afternoon, and he's still battling for a top 5 finish here after picking up the victory in that ARCA Menard Series race here yesterday. Still a lot of racing yet to go. Anything can happen, but right now things going all Justin Allgaier's way with about 30 laps to go.
Coming up next on FS1, it's Major League Baseball with the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Detroit Tigers.
You're warming it up already.
Move them out of the way, teammates.
Where's the line, right? The wins mean a lot. Playoff points are big.
The line is somewhere between not racing each other and Darlington Cup Series race a couple of weeks ago. The line is somewhere in between there.
Well, boys, everyone's line's a little bit different. So I think everyone figures that out as you start to learn who you're racing and things like that.
So you guys have raced hard with each other, you know, from Team Penske. It's just kind of explain to everybody how you guys go through that process in a team meeting and where you kind of say, okay, I understand, and move on.
You want me to go? I'll go. You know, I think you have to talk about it. That's the biggest thing. You can't expect people to just know as they're racing really hard here for the lead. You can't expect your teammate. Oh my goodness. Jordan each other. We've seen that cut tires down earlier too. I'm very distracted on the point I was trying to say and watching this race because the race is so hard and so good. But I think it's important for teammates to communicate because you can't just know what the other driver is thinking, right? I'm not a mind reader, and you got to be able to communicate and talk back and forth. If there is a frustration, tell me. Usually there's 2 sides to every story, and there's reasoning on both ends. If you can communicate and talk about it, I think that builds the best relationships. Just like with your wife, it's the same thing. You got to talk about it.
Ooh, 8 and 27. 0-2, I'm sorry.
Racing hard. Yeah, I mean, and hey, with the JRM deal going on, they're all so fast right now. They're all running up front, running for the lead. You're going to be racing around each other all the time if all your cars are just dominant. So, yeah, that's one of the things that they're going to have to figure out. But, hey, I don't think one of them has wrecked the other ones to win, like dumped them completely.
No.
So I think it's still okay.
There's definitely contact. And you've seen some on the replay there before. And these two have had contact all day. And look at Josh Berry. His car is stronger now than it was before the pit stop. He gets underneath Justin Allgaier for the lead with 25 to go.
Big slider coming here.
Here it comes. Now, Justin's going to see it.
Justin
cross it over.
Turn under. He's going to get back to him.
What a racetrack we got here today. Is he going to clear him?
This is great stuff right here.
And I think Josh knew it was coming, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was tight, but I still think that he knew that was probably coming.
These guys are racing this
Oh,
hard.
he got loose. He's on the wall. Oh, my goodness.
Hopefully that doesn't cut the 7's tire down. You know, we've seen it a little bit today. These cars are usually pretty resilient when they get into the fence.
It's all good. We're good.
See if he can regroup and make another charge at him.
And I think about that from the owner's standpoint. I guarantee you Dale Jr. is standing up wherever he's watching the race going, oh, my God, please don't wreck both my cars. One of you win.
Well, here's the first pass that Josh Berry tries to make on the 7. And 1 and 2. Oh, sorry. This is where he just got into the fence. And we've seen that be a trouble spot.
Yeah, Justin was in trouble when he went into the corner. You could see it start sliding.
Yes. He's excited.
Big Josh Berry fan. Oh, yes. But the 7's re-racked and making a charge at him. Man. I mean, y'all think, you know, being the leader is great, but looking in your mirror, making a little mistake.
I don't know.
You know, maybe coming to play. Now, everyone says, turn that mirror off, focus forward. It's hard to turn that mirror off.
You can't turn that mirror off. I mean, you know, I think as you look in that mirror, as much as you drive these cars, now you have to use the mirror. And, you know, I think you can misjudge and miss your marks and stuff every once in a while. But that turn 1 is just difficult today. And it seems like, you know, Tyler was talking about it earlier. If you're not all the way up against the wall in the entry, those bumps are there. And if we go back and look at that again, I mean, Justin was, I mean, he was loose when he got in the corner. By the time he got to the wall, that wall saved him from not sliding further.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Josh Berry's just not driving away. As much pressure as he was able to put on the 7, turn underneath him, and make that pass that we saw was so exciting. I thought he'd drive away, but Justin's hanging. You know, he's going to at least apply some pressure here for a few laps. We'll see how long that lasts.
And just to put this in perspective, this is the 3rd and 4th place car. They are 15 seconds behind the first 2 cars.
By half.
But what a good race. You know, this is the longest green flag run by a long shot that we've had in the Xfinity race in probably the last few weeks. And boy, they are putting on a good one up front, racing for lead. Even though it's a 2-car race up there, it's a heck of a race. And then you look right here, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all in a row racing each other as well.
54, they've done a nice job of working on that car and getting it a little bit better throughout the day. We saw them charge up through the field, and they kind of stall out in like 7th, 8th, even 9th, and it seems like right here battling Priest for 3rd that they've gotten that car a little bit better.
And we see Ryan just not be able to run all the way up the racetrack. He's kind of on that top seam. Not able to do what those leaders are doing all the way up against the fence to really carry that momentum all the way around the corner. See these guys right up against the fence.
And so a fun fact was just presented to me. Josh Berry has 3 wins, and Allgaier was 2nd in 2 of those wins.
Huh.
So these guys are used to racing each other, running 1-2.
You don't have to admit that those facts were presented to you, Ryan.
Well, I don't like to take people's ideas or thoughts. You got Barry's got some debris on the grill. That's what you get for running up next to the wall. You know, they have these banners, and people hit the wall and they become halfway undone, and they could get stuck on the grill. He's gonna have to use a lapper to get that off.
Yeah, we've seen they apply stickers to the wall now instead of painting them at certain racetracks, and I can't say I agree with that for that reason of getting debris on it. Oh, look at this on the bottom. Justin Allgaier trying to pick him behind a lap car. Oh, he couldn't stay there.
7-2 back.
You got to love the emotion on top of the pit boxes. There's the better half.
Oh, he's in the wall again.
Oh, man.
You got it harder that time.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Dustin said they're good.
I got it, but yeah. Yeah, I got flat right rear.
Got it again.
Yeah, I think that right rear's flat.
He's got flat, yep.
Here's a replay again at the 7. Turn 1.
We've said that a lot today.
So many times.
He's just trying to enter a little bit higher and a little bit higher, and eventually talked about those bumps, and they get you.
It really surprises me how, like, that's not a severe contact with the wall, how easy they've been able to hit the wall today and cut the tires.
I know we used to brag so much about this composite body and how tough it is. You can hit the wall and not cut down tires. Not so much today. I don't know why that is. But hey, you know what? You're Justin Allgaier. You've had a good run going this season. You got to win. You're in the playoffs. Run hard. Give it a chance.
Yeah.
You hit the wall, you hit the wall.
And talk about still 13 laps to go, and caution could happen, but gosh, the 8 now, it's like got 17-second lead. It's been racing with his tongue out here for the last 25 laps with the 7. He gets a little bit of breathing room finally.
Yeah, I would use some of my cushion up at this point if I was him.
Yeah.
And those guys, I mean, really since the drop of the green, every time they've thrown the green after a yellow, I mean, those guys have been on the gas, racing hard, into each other's door, up the racetrack, down the racetrack. It's been they put on a great show today.
Yeah, at this point, you're Josh Berry. You know, just check it up a half a second or so and save some tire just in case. I think everyone would pit if he had tires at the end of this thing, but you never know. Have something there just in case. That's the biggest lead I think he's probably ever going to have in any race. So let you just enjoy it a little bit.
And, you know, Allgaier and Berry were out to such a big lead. Allgaier hit the wall, had a flat tire, came down pit road, and he's still 9th. Yeah. He's still running top 10.
But this is like an old school Charlotte race. You look at the
10 to go at the line, 10 to go.
At the leaderboard, and you see 7 cars on the lead lap.
Noah Gregson having engine issues. We've noted that all day today. Running 5th, looking like he's probably going to get 4th here off of turn 4 as he runs that wall and keeps that momentum. I know that engine doesn't look bad, but when you have momentum like that coming off the top, it's going to make an engine look pretty good.
Yeah, his for those of you at home that can't hear the engine, it sounds really bad as it goes by our booth here. Looks like the 19 had some contact with the outside wall. Oh my goodness.
I see they're putting scuffs on the 19, it looks like.
That had to be a save from turn 2. Yeah.
Oh. Taking the bus stop back there.
Yeah, we've had a couple people in the bus stop back there today.
Keeping
everyone off. Everyone pushing hard at the end of the race. See more and more guys getting in the wall, trying to make time up, making mistakes, just pushing hard.
And you see A.J. Allmendinger, he came in, put some tires on. I don't know if he had an issue or I know he pitted before everybody. I don't know if he
could have made it to the end.
May not been able to make it.
Yeah, he probably had to pit one more time. They just put right side tires on that, trying to save some time.
I believe his top 10 streak might unfortunately come to an end here today.
You as well. You kept 8-9-ish right there. Got a 7 to go.
Yeah, and we talk so much about experience and how hard this racetrack is and experience coming into play. Our top 3 were battling for Rookie of the Year last year, so welcome to the Xfinity Series. And I did get that fed to me. I didn't come up with
I was
that.
waiting for you because the board was next to me, too.
Yeah.
You know, I thought about taking that one and using your advice and not saying that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I got it from somebody. But
for everyone
these guys
listening,
do a great job.
Yeah, for anyone listening at home, it's like, wow, how would he know that stat? Just know someone's over here telling us the stat.
the stat boys in the booth they're on top of it.
Wow, they must really study.
Yeah, when you prepare for this race, you get this list of stats and things, and I find myself sitting there for 20, 30 minutes looking at it because it's intriguing.
I don't remember any of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Noah Gregson, so good at running the wall. Seaman Homestead and all these places where you run high, just makes good time. Ryan Preece has had a great day.
Yeah, he's been up, you know, top 10 all day, top 5 most of the day. That's a good run for him, especially after kind of the heartbreak from last night, having a good shot at winning that race and just not working out.
Another guy we haven't talked about much today, Daniel Hemrick, just last car on the lead lap, just kind of kept himself in the game all day. The old wily veteran there, keeping himself in the game all day, and going to wind up, you know, somewhere towards the top 5 as he finishes up the day, hopefully.
I mean, you talk about the pace that Josh Berry is running, though. 6th place is the last car on the lead lap. That's how fast he's going. Sheldon Creed, good recovery, though, from him as well, 7th place. This guy's just booking.
Yeah,
well, he's cruising now, but he was booking.
You say he's cruising, but he's still running lap time.
The fastest laps on the racetrack. Oh, man.
Yeah, the only guy that's faster is Allgaier, who's got tires.
Yeah.
But as well as they have run, it's hard to believe that this would be JRM's first win at Charlotte. That's unbelievable.
Well, if this thing goes green from here, though, I'd say, you know, the most deserving team all day long, you know, in this 8 bunch, they deserve to win this race. They had the speed in the car, had some good racing, kept everything in good one piece, got through the stages. 2 to go. He's cruising with the 17-second lead. He's just praying at this point. Blaney, you know how this feels. You want to get the white flag in these races. I know last week was a little different for you, but in this race, once he sees the white flag, anything after that is the end of the race. So here he comes off of turn 4 to get the white flag.
Yeah, and Josh Berry and all of JRM has had such a great day today. The white flag waves as we have 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
And, you know, you look at all the top cars, their right sides are pretty scuffed, and Josh Berry's pretty clean. So he's done a good job of getting everything he could out of the top lane today, but has kept it out of the fence, and led to a good day for him. Good finish.
May have hit some other cars, but never the fence.
Yeah, there's a donut on there, but you know, there's
it.
not a stripe on there. So that's good. Just rubbed it.
Rubbed another car.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's a great job by Josh Berry and that JRM 18. That was a dominant day.
Josh Berry, 31-year-old Josh Berry, 4th win in his 42nd start.
Great car, guys. Thank y'all so much.
63rd career win for Junior Motorsports. Great day all around for Junior Motorsports. They just keep winning races, keep winning stages. But I love the way Josh Berry goes about it. I love that he brings that short track mentality, just grind every lap out right into what he's doing here on a 1.5-mile racetrack.
Yeah, and to your point, though, about Junior Motorsports, when you bring that many fast cars to the racetrack, you're going to win a lot. And it doesn't matter, you know, which team it is. They're all fast. The 9, the 1, you know, the 7, they're all up there. Obviously, the 8 who just won. They're all up there every single week. 1 or 2 of them can have an issue, and guess what? They still win.
Justin Allgaier, even though he didn't win the race, he put on a great effort today. Rubbed the wall there at the end. Came home 7th.
He gave us something to talk about there for a while.
Sure.
I mean, made it incredibly exciting racing with Josh Berry. And hey, they leaned on each other a little bit today, but at the end of the day, they ran each other really hard, but clean at the same time. That's what you want to see, is 2 teammates racing hard for the win while not really roughing each other up too much.
It's been a long time since we've been to Charlotte and seen as many wall stripes on the side of the car as we do at Darlington.
I can't say it enough. This is the best race we've had at Charlotte in years. Whatever the heck they put on the racetrack, whatever they got going on with the Xfinity cars and the tire, don't change it. It's perfect. That was one of the best races we've seen here.
I just hope about 7 o'clock tonight our cars are the same.
I hope so.
It's the same racetrack.
Well, just watch Tyler Reddick, and you'll know if it's ready.
Very true.
I don't know if he knows where he's going. We don't know where he's going at this point. He's stuck on the banking now.
Well,
but we got a sweet drone here.
You know the tires are wore out when they won't go up the banking.
I can't get no grip.
How about driving on that going almost 200 miles an hour? Can't get enough grip to go up the banking.
Yeah.
Yet you're going 200.
That's what's always made this place great. When the races are really good, the cars are sliding around, and you're able to use the whole racetrack for that reason, right?
That's right.
Just low on grip.
I agree.
Josh Berry, obviously winner of just so many short track races around this part of the country, and when you come to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, he has a lot of fans in this area. He's been very successful on that side of the word. Obviously Dale Jr. and Junior Motorsports have a huge following, but Josh Berry himself is I would call him a legend in the late model side of things.
The legend is still pretty young.
Oh, he's tangled up.
Track champion at Hickory Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway Xfinity Series winner.
How'd I do?
Tyler?
Hey, I think Josh Berry did one heck of a job. I don't know about you race fans, but I'm looking at the right side of your car, Josh Berry, and there isn't a scratch on it. It was really incredible drive. You got your 4th career win, 2nd of the season. And I don't know if you know this, I'm sure everyone at Junior Motorsports does. You got Junior Motorsports' first win at Charlotte. How does it feel?
Man, it's so amazing. This car was so good. Mike and this whole group have worked so hard. We've been getting better every week. I think the sky's the limit as we continue to learn about each other and keep getting better. I'm so happy for Harrison's USA. They're regionally based. This is their home track. Danny Harrison came and found me at Caraway last year at a late model race and was like, "What are you doing next year?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he stepped up and helped make this happen. Ariat, Carhartt, Tire Pros, Jarrett Logistics, Chevrolet, HendrickCars.com, Hendrick Motorsports, everybody back at the shop. Just truly so amazing, man. Dale Jr., Kelly LW, thank all you so much for what you do. And man, that was a battle with Justin. It always is with us. I don't know, we always just seem to run good at the same places and always have to race each other, but he slipped up and won and I got loose too. I don't know, I was following off him and he got loose and I got loose too, but it all worked out.
Josh Berry comes out on top of that dogfight we had at Charlotte. Austin?
Well, the other side of the entertainment today, Justin Allgaier, you led 63 laps, won the 2nd stage. I know you're pissed, but did you have fun? Because it was an awesome race.
No, it was a great race, and obviously, fans at home and fans over here at the racetrack, we want to put on the best race we can, and just proud of our team. Everybody at Junior Motorsports, I knew at the beginning of the race, man, I thought we had 4 cars that we could finish 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously with troubles, I think they still got close to finishing there. But just proud of our team. Adopt a Soldier Platoon on the car, and Unilever to have these colors. Memorial Day weekend, such an important weekend. Yeah, it's a great race weekend, but most importantly, to honor our servicemen and women that have fallen. And we're going to do that Monday. Try to put it all on the line today and get the best finish we could. Unfortunately, just came up a little bit short. After the first contact in the wall down here, I kind of felt like maybe the right rear was going soft, and ultimately it ended up going down. I got the fence again. I had to pit on a green. So just disappointing, but congrats to Josh and this whole Junior Motorsports team. It's nice to have the momentum we got right now, and we're going to keep riding that high.
It's fun to watch. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, they put on a great race. I mean, there's really just no other way to explain it. They did a great job and raced hard every single lap.